Alright everyone, this is a mic check. Can everyone hear me? Type 1 in chat if you can hear me, and type 2 if somehow you can't. Don't worry, we'll be lowering music very shortly. It's all good. Let's see in chat, everyone. How many ones do I see? I see a few ones, and I see a few ones. I see a 3. Of course, the clown puts 3. I see how it is. Good. If everyone watching can like this stream too, that'd be the other good sign of knowing you're all watching. We have 121 people in chat. If you all can... I see the 6, 7. Okay, I see what you're doing in chat. I see what you're doing. Alright, everyone can like the stream. That would be an even better expression of hearing me. But it's all good. It's all good. How about we switch over to a different stream? Oh, no, not that one. Not that one. Wrong button. I missed the button there. Thank you so much. Who's a member? Jeff, for being a member of the channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's been a week. It's been a week. A year, some might say. Maybe even longer. Who knows? Actually, what did you say, Jeff? Let me find out. What did you say there? Also, got a super chat early on. I'm going to read right now. So first, Jeff's message. People mad about being the dumbest things. Like Lolicon. Oh, okay. I'm not going to talk about Lolicon here.
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $1.99. Announcer. He, him, and the masters of the rage bait.
Indeed. He, him. We'll get to all the He-Man stuff in a second. Also, talking movie, you had a super chat earlier on in the day. The worst team-up, Psy with Star Giant. How horrifying would that be? They would never, ever work together. I'll tell you that right now. They are too incompatible to ever even remotely work together. That's never going to happen. Wild discussion there. Wild. There has been some side drama lately, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because something else has come up that's a little more urgent. But beyond that, we got some discussions today about both Dragon Ball Super and He-Man. I was going to mention Lobo drama, but I feel that's even more worthless than anything else in this discussion because it's like, well, what, Lobo doesn't look exactly like lacks the dreadlocks or whatever? I don't know, people are being a little ridiculous. Lobo looks perfectly fine in Supergirl, I think. Perfect Lobo, as far as I'm concerned. Now, unfortunately, though, there is something I have to discuss early on that I don't enjoy talking about, but I feel like I have to address it because it just came to my attention just before, and I want to be as fair as possible with the situation. It's not my circus. I am not going to speak to specifics. I'm not taking accountability for anyone's actions. They're not myself because, frankly, I'm not involved in this.
At WC with super chatted $2. You catch the Game Overs trailer?
Yes, I did. I am excited to see anything Ross O'Donovan puts together. Freaking, yeah, Robert Ross's work is... I've always enjoyed all that stuff, so I'm very curious to see what comes next. Hey, what's going on, Creepy Reading? Oh, God, take a seat. Take a seat. It's a day. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have it's not gonna be a group stream because there is some specifics I've found out that I want to address myself directly. But oh yeah, it's a day. So I'm trying to find the right way to explain this section because again, I just found out about this. This is news to me too. So the first order of business is there have been some allegations alleged towards frequent collaborator of the channel, Oddly Noah, I do want to talk about. These allegations are not something to be taken lightly either. I just want to point that right now. I also want to specify that given my relationship to all the people involved, I'm not going to speak to any specifics because I'm sure this is an evolving story, but I feel like it would be disingenuous not to mention it early on. So the allegation is currently that there is a belief that he has, at best, taking content without properly accrediting the creators involved. At worst, it's outright plagiarism. Now, again, I want to reiterate here what I know. I do not know everything. I have spoken to Noah privately, and he has told me he does not believe anything else will come up regarding this in terms of what has happened. I want to be very clear about that. I'm also not going to go into immense detail, because if you want that kind of stuff, there's other streams talking about it. I've already been messaged by a couple of them, asking me if I wanted to hop on and talk about it, which I have enough problems sorting out my thoughts on my own stream. If I'm on someone else's stream and something new comes up and I'm completely taken aback by it, I even told them, listen, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm the best person to have on and talk about anything live like this as it's still developing. So I want to be fair about this. It's not worth going all in on it. But there is evidence that some videos included very similar material. Some claims I think are a little more ridiculous, others not
At
so
user
much.
_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Did Chuds react to Kathleen Kennedy stepping down?
A lot did, but didn't get as much traction as you would have thought, right? Didn't get a whole lot of traction at all, I think. I'm a little surprised. Anyway, so I do want to go over a couple of these. This video right here by Ryle Kittenhouse. I'm sorry. I had to do a double take on that name because wait a second, Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't think he's not doing videos right now. At least not about YouTubers. There are a few things, and he did do a stream about this recently with Nick Andros and Dickers and a few other people. Shamu, I think, was one of them. Yeah, so he has... Noah has on stream admitted these were mistakes he made. I'm not going to harangue the guy further. I'm not bullying. I'm not doing anything like that. I want to be fair. That said, these are not non-serious, and I was completely blindsided by all of this. I saw the stream that Noah did this afternoon as it came up. I heard all of it live, so I'm still sorting out my feelings about it. So I'm not going to talk about anything emotional here. I'm talking just facts. The facts are these. There are a few sections of Noah's videos that have been found thus far that are eerily similar to... Okay, let's chat play out.
At Jeff Pyatt 2K4 super chatted $2. Starfleet Academy has attracted the worst chuds.
Yes, Starfleet Academy has definitely attracted the worst chuds. Absolutely. This needs to be... Music's a little loud. Okay, let me load the music real quick. In fact, I'm going to mute the music entirely because I'm just going to play some of this clip right here. I'm going to play some of the video right now. Do I think it's as bad as James Summerton? I don't know. Probably not, but it's only been a couple clips I've seen so far, so I can't speak to that. I am going to play some of this video to show you side by side what is on here. Now, I have seen the comments too that the gang that did talk to Noah about this on stream, including Nick Andros and all that, were very hostile towards Noah. And that's also true. They were hostile. I think the point about them like taking a Twitter graphic and like not crediting Nick Andros for it, I thought that was a little like, what is this? Nothing burger kind of comment. I thought the Shamu stuff he said initially, that sounds like it holds weight. But there are some... Yeah. It's not, yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter, exactly. Creepy Reading's right. It doesn't matter if it's James Summerton bad, it's still bad. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the specifics, because there are some that are very eerie. And again, I'm just phrasing it the way I can. You know, I'm not a drama guy. We're not talking about that. But it needs to be addressed. And would be lying if I said I wasn't upset by this. So let's take a listen.
Noah is a prolific plagiarist.
Vasquez starts the shot as an amorphous blob.
This is a video from a guy named Neril. Now, I have cited this video before in some of my videos. I've included credit. I've shown the full clip from Neril before. It's a good video. I recommend watching it. It's a very, very good video. But take a look at the similarities.
Before the AI starts to put a mouth on her cheek.
In this shot here with Vasquez, it tries to read her face at first as an amorphous blob because it doesn't recognize her face is a face.
Earlier today.
So that's an example right there. It's clearly the same shot with a different script overlaid on top of it. But the script itself is very close to what the original lines are. Let's proceed.
Today, Otterly Noah was accused of stealing multiple edits, including ripping graphics, directly from a YouTuber named Shamu and his video on Tectone. When I originally saw the evidence, I decided to do a bit more digging. Now, I will not be focusing much.
Now, Noah has admitted on stream that the Tectone's Shamu accusation that is not really mentioned in this video all that well is legitimate.
Most of my time on the allegation Shamu is making, though I find them credible. Simply want to put out the damning evidence I found, and there's quite a lot.
Yeah. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Most of the stream I didn't particularly care for. A lot of it was very, meandering. But this, what you're going to see, I think, is very compelling. And I just want to show it to you straight up.
To explain the intro, you saw a clip first from a channel named Norel in a video called AI Can Ruin Movies Now 2, Aliens and True Eyes on 4K.
Vasquez starts the shot as an amorphous blob before the AI starts to put a mouth on her cheek.
Norel released his video on May 26, 2024, where Otterly Noah put out his video, How Anti-Woke Culture Purposely Misappropriates Media, on January 15th, 2026. You'll notice the graphics are the exact same with the blue circle and the identical line about the amorphous blob.
In this shot,
yeah, so I'm pretty sure what Noah just did was he just took the footage and just changed the script slightly.
here with Vasquez, it tries to read her face at first.
Yeah, it's the same video, same editing. No citation on screen showing it's from Neril's video. It's just the same one.
As an amorphous blob because it doesn't recognize her face is a face.
In the same Otterly Noah video, they steal more from Norel, taking the graphics and a snippet of the script.
And Tom Arnold, a spectacle to behold in his prime, looks to be in the early stages of Emperor Palpatineism.
This shot here makes Tom Arnold look like he's turning into an amalgamation of Emperor Palpatine and Donald Trump.
So that's pretty bad.
Very similar. Again, it's the editing combined with the similar script. That's where I have issues with. But if that was the only example, I wouldn't be taking this as seriously. I'd be like, okay, that sounds bad, but I would need multiple examples. The video keeps going though. We're only about a minute and a half in.
But things got a lot worse when I started searching around Twitter. I found that this wasn't the first time Otterly Noah was accused of plagiarism. I found Vincent Pavarel had accused Otterly Noah of plagiarizing his video, The Worst Movie Take I've Ever Seen in 2025, back in December. Thankfully for us, Otterly Noah hasn't taken down his video at the time of editing this. It's called Debunking Jester Bell's Abysmal Anti-Woke Take on 2025 Movies, released 4 weeks after Vincent's video. Most of the plagiarism...
Now, I want to say this right now. I have seen both videos. I saw both videos a while back, and it just didn't occur to me that they were so similar because I saw them at different periods of time. I'm pretty sure I saw Vincent's video first, and I saw Noah's afterwards. And I was like, wow, I guess it's the same topic, but I thought, well, there's only so much ground you can cover. I know Movies with Mark also covered as the topic very similarly, and referenced a lot of the same talking points that Vincent and Noah did, but. And I'm going to use Movies with Mark as a positive example at the end of this. It's not one-to-one. When Movies with Mark did it, he goes into much more detail with different talking points, specific ideas. But as you're going to see right here, it's not just what Noah said the same as with Vincent. It's also the same sequence.
Will be Otterly Noah stealing the script from Vincent's video with a slight remix. All clips will be in chronological order. I will provide timestamps in the description to verify yourself.
Now, I want to say right now, I have not verified the specifics outside this video myself yet. Again, I'm only finding out about this like hours ago. I haven't had the chance to really. I had to cook dinner. I had to make sure I, say hello to my wife and son. So I haven't had enough time yet to really go into details here. I am just presenting Ryle's presentation of ideas as he presented it. I want to make that clear. We can compare it afterwards. But for right now, what I'm showing you is Ryle's accusation. I want to make sure you understand it before we continue. It's not what I'm saying. I haven't verified this as outside of this. I'm just presenting his arguments as presented. We can compare it side by side afterwards if anyone really wants me to. But this is just the allegation.
This year kicked off with Captain America: Brave New World.
No, this year kicked off with Companion, Better Man, and Dog Man.
This year kicked off with Captain America: Brave New World.
No, this year did not start off with Captain America: Brave New World. This year started off with Companion, Better Man, and Dog Man in January of 2025.
And I'm even skipping on a couple. One of them, Better Man, was a massive box office disaster. But let's not use box office as a metric to determine a film's quality for a moment.
Better Man was actually a pretty decent and unique music biopic about the British singer Robbie Williams that unfortunately ended up being a big flop for Paramount. But let's take a step back and not use box office to determine whether a film is actually good or not, Jester Bell.
Now, I do want to point out right now, a few of these examples are weak sauce. That's important to note. A few examples are not the strongest pieces of evidence. That's the example of one. I don't find that particularly strong because that's a common term of phrase. Some of them are more compelling than others, though. That's the problem. It's not just each individual example on its own, it's the collective summation of them. Okay? I want to make sure that's clear in chat. Not everything will be the same level of convincing as individually. It's more the collective number of examples in sequence. Some don't seem strong, some are. That's why I want to leave the door open here and be fair about this. I just want to say it right now before we continue.
Unique energy to it, incredible dance sequences.
Yeah, sorry, creepy reading. The behalf you contain in chat. As you can imagine, as you can understand, I want to cover this one myself solo because it's. I have to be very careful with what I'm saying.
Absolutely gorgeous dance sequences all throughout.
And an interesting twist of turning the star into a CGI monkey that actually works when you watch the film.
And also a pretty unique gimmick of having Robin Williams portrayed as a CGI monkey to sort of symbolize how he's always felt like an outcast party animal throughout most of his life.
Snow White came out in March. So let's go to that specific month and see what were the notable titles that came out. We had Mickey 17, Novocaine, Black Bag, and Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is really good and underrated, by the way. For those who love animation, I suggest you guys check it out.
So you went out of your way once again to watch Snow White, a movie that already looked bad from the marketing, and instead of watching something like, I don't know, Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up, a much better movie that was also in theaters around this exact time.
Cool.
And later, the Minecraft movie.
It is a mid movie.
The Minecraft movie. Even the films.
The Minecraft movie is mid, yes.
But you know what else came out in April that wasn't mid? Sinners. Alright, you don't care about it.
But again, that came out in April, and you know what else came out in April? Sinners, which you yourself admitted you didn't see before.
Then there's still The Accountant 2 and Drop, both well received.
You could have gone to see The Accountant too, which
Tron Ares did not have girl boss in the slightest.
Tron Ares didn't contain a girl boss at all.
I'm not saying Greta Lee's character was well written, but not once in the movie did she ever belittle the male characters around her.
Eve Kim may have not been the most compelling character ever, but she wasn't a girl boss.
She literally spends a good chunk of the ending being trapped and eventually saved by Ares.
She spent most of the movie being trapped and had to be rescued by Ares at the very end, in fact.
So that's what I was able to find in about.
Yeah, so that's most of the video right there. And again, these clips are very short and they're very truncated. So again, that's the problem. I'm not going to sweep for Noah. I'm not going to throw Noah to the wolves. But I want to point out that's not good. It requires more investigation. And there are going to be others who look into it more. I already know some are. So, in this situation, I have two perspectives here. Either A, this is a big exaggeration. They're taking things out of context. B, well, actually I have a few options. One is, this is a nothing burger and it is actually nothing more and it's just a coincidence. That's one option. Option two, Noah draws heavy influence from the videos he watches and doesn't realize he's copying them beat for beat when he makes them. Or, and this is arguably the one I want to be true the least, but a part of me fears may be the case. This is the beginning of a lot of plagiarism that we're going to find out. Yeah, I know Beckett already is. That was I saw in chat people saying Beckett's looking. Yeah, I know he is. I'm aware of that. That's how I found out that they're doing that. Okay, but the point is, I want to keep an open mind either way. But I also am not going to be blindly optimistic either. That's the thing. Listen, my personal feelings are I'm kind of pissed. I'm trying to be fair, but I'm pissed. I'm not going to lie. This completely blindsided me. I had no idea any of this was happening. I was planning a bunch of things with Noah as well that were going to happen this weekend. I've delayed those. I was going to make a big announcement in the stream, talking about a big stream I'm going to do with involving Noah and everyone else. I was going to get the Birdman on it. That's being delayed. We're not doing that right now. I want to wait to see what happens. We're playing it by ear. If Noah is exonerated, that's totally fine. I don't want to, again, throw anyone to the wolves here. But, this isn't good. And all of this is from today. And again, there's nothing wrong with citing people. I cite people all the time. I don't record a ton of gameplay footage for my videos. I usually take it from someone else. But I always include a citation at the bottom of the screen to show who is playing the game. Unless it's like a cutscene, in which case it's a pre-rendered cutscene that belongs to the company that made it. But if someone is playing the game, you cite them. If someone has an argument, you cite them. If someone has an article that you read, you cite the article on screen. You have to cite everything, if possible. On screen or in the
At
description.
Stingertopia3169 super chatted $5. Not saying he's lying about Noah, but some later examples felt more like common knowledge, rebuttals. The Palpatine line is definitely suspicious though.
Yeah. The problem isn't that it's common knowledge. The problem is how it's written. I want to exercise caution, but not blind optimism. Noah told me there's nothing else going on. Time will see if that's accurate. But it's not my pony. It's not my circus. It's not my horse. It's not my farm. It's not my job to worry if Noah is or is not a plagiarist. It's not my accountability if he plagiarized. Because I didn't make these videos. I want to hope for the best, but I also want to be realistic. I will let you know if more comes forward. You will know. You will hear all about it, I'm sure. But I want to be, and it's not a matter of, is it as bad as James Summerton? That doesn't matter. It's not a matter of if every video he has is plagiarized. That's not the question either. Not my circus, not my monkeys. That's the phrase. Yeah, there you go. I was mixing up phrases in my head there. I prepare for the best, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Yeah. And there's some accusations that are more bullshit than others. Like Nick Andros getting mad that Noah didn't provide a citation for a graphic he posted on Twitter. Or there was a whole big thing about citing Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is an aggregate of information. You don't cite Kiwi Farms, you cite the sources Kiwi Farms is aggregating, which is usually the person that they're obsessing over's YouTube socials. It's also wrong to dox Noah. I saw a lot of people trying to dox him. I asked Noah to make me a mod on his chat just to block doxing attempts. That's not okay. That's wrong. Regardless of whether or not Noah is guilty for plagiarism, it's not okay to dox him. you can't, yeah, you have to be very careful. You got to cite the people involved. And again, if you cite it, that's one thing. If you give citation, that's one thing. If you're doing a reaction to something, that's one thing. Even if you're using clips that someone else brought up, you have to be careful not to include the edits, because if you include the edits, that also can be seen as plagiarism to some extent. Oh, Watch Mojo and Mindshop have stolen Jorge's edits? Yeah, no. Watch Mojo sucks. Watch Mojo sucks. Yeah. And again, listen, it's not easy. Yeah, this is why you talk. This is why you go on cam and talk shit. Yeah, exactly. No script on problems. There you go. A lot of times I improvise. A lot of my videos improvise a lot of stuff, which helps. Just spur them with thoughts. It also adds the more naturalistic vibe of my videos. I think. Where half the time I just improvise some of my stuff. I sometimes just have like parts of my scripts where I'm like make a joke about this. I'm like, okay, I figured it out. And you figure it out. But you gotta be careful. Yeah, Yeah, no, I didn't know what was going on. I only saw the beginning of it. It's blindsided me, man. It's blindsided me. I'm upset by it. But I want to wait to see what comes up.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $5. We are, I assume, grown adults here. Let's act like it. Don't dox people.
Exactly. And again, I want to make sure that I'm not saying there's no path forward for Noah. There is. He can make a big retraction. He can move forward doing the right thing. But it deserves criticism. There are a lot of YouTubers who have plagiarized and went on to make more stuff, but you gotta take accountability. You gotta take accountability of what's going on, And it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. But again, I want to see. So the latest video and Marine and Witch segment reminds me of Yaku the Witch and the Marine. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Cool. No, I love that. I know of that. Have not seen it. Wasn't on my mind. I was thinking just toxic. Okay, so I'll give you a little insight in this one. I've been working on I've been planning a monster romance video at some point. That was kind of in my brain when I was talking about that. I like that. It's funny. I like that. Was it in Akuzukin Cha-Cha? I have not seen Akazukin Cha-Cha. I've not seen it yet, but I've heard it's good. Yeah, no. You gotta be... Yeah, it's deserved. Whatever happened, it's deserved. You have to take accountability. It feels like you're being too diplomatic. I am being diplomatic because I don't know the full situation. That's the thing. We're working with a limited amount of information right now. I want everyone to know that. So I don't want to make sweeping generalizations about things that will be proven wrong or proven worse later on. I've had experience with this firsthand. It never goes well if you make too many declarative statements too early on. More needs to be known. I want to be optimistic, but I'm not optimistic, if I'm being perfectly honest. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully all goes well. I hope so. I want things to go well. I want the right thing to happen to everyone. Listen. It's worth reporting because it happened. When a person dies, the news doesn't jump to homicide. They say a person has died. And then when evidence comes out to prove it was homicide, they may change their narrative. That's what's happening here. We don't know the full situation. I think I do, but we don't know the full situation. And we have to be careful with how we phrase things. We can't make strong allegations yet. I can tell you what my feelings are, but I can't tell you what the facts are. Unless I know them. Which I don't, so I can't.
At JessISD3 add 12 super chatted $5. As someone who wants to write video essays, where would you find clips to use? I see them on YouTube, but that seems like a headache with watermarks.
My best advice, especially because YouTube ripping is annoying. Watch the full source and screen share it. You know, if you're watching a movie, for example, just screen share the whole movie or screen share the clips from the movie you want to use. That's my best advice. If you have a TV show episode, screen record the video. That's my recommendation. You get the full thing in context, and you get it off the streamer. A lot of people do that. If you can get a downloadable file, use that. Highest quality you can. Sometimes you can rip it off YouTube if it's like a clip or something like that. Like, for example, Watch Mojo. Not Watch Mojo. What's the place? It's they have all the movie clips. Movie clips, I think it's called. They have clips of movies that you can use in isolation. That's fine. It's just the clip of the film. And you cite the film. You know? That's what you gotta do. You gotta always go for the most primary source possible, though. You gotta go for the closest to the thing you're talking about if you can. You know, that's what it is. Yeah, OBS. OBS is perfect for that. Just screen record it. Screen rip it, you're good to go. Easy. Yeah, you can't argue it's unintentional. This is not an accident. This is not an accident. This is a pattern. But again, I hope it's a small pattern. Yeah, get stuff out of your library. That's a good example too. Perfect example. Put it on your computer, have a DVD ripper, and you just, get it from there. Screen record clips. Yeah, whatever you can do. Yeah, no, that's a big difference too. The big difference is right here. This is a big difference. It's the edit included too. It's the highlight. It's the specific zoom in. That's the big issue. Yeah, this is a rough one. This is not... I'm being fair. But, you know. Oh, Windows 11 has screen recording built in. Oh, wow. I'm using OBS this whole time. Anyway. But enough of that. Because unfortunately, we do not have as much information as I would like about this. Yeah, that's not fun to talk about. Yeah, it's not fun to talk about. We'll see as this develops, but I'm upset. I'm very upset. Yeah, I'm not happy about any of this. You enjoy the background? Oh, I love the background. It's so much fun. But yeah, no. So I'm not saying to harass Noah. I'm not saying to annoy Noah. But I am saying it's concerning. Anyway, let's start with Dragon Ball Super real quick, just because that's the shorter of the two stories I want to talk about. The other stuff is longer. We'll get to that. But Dragon Ball Super has a new 40th anniversary announcement. Oh, there's me. And some people are happy about what they heard, some are not. I gotta say right now, I'm not gonna play this whole clip. I'm gonna put some mutes. There's no sound here. I love this. This is great. I love this little animation thing they do right here for the Dragon Ball 40th anniversary. It's so much fun. I love this. Yeah, take a look. Look at that. Look at that. Fully cell-rendered manga-faithful graphics. I adore this. This is like a shot of nostalgia. I love how this looks. The two announcements that are most important, they made a few announcements, but the two big ones are right here. The first big news is there's two new Dragon Ball animated projects coming out. One is an adaptation of the Galactic Patrol arc. That's Moro and everything moving onward. So we got Moro coming. We got Granola coming. I hope we got Granola coming. That's all being animated, and it's going to be awesome. Ideally. I am hyped. I am very hyped for this. This is going to be great. about just about every single Dragon Ball fan is equally excited to see this come out. Because we've been waiting for new Dragon Ball stuff for a while. I thought Daima was better than most people seem to think so. I mean, I got my Super Saiyan 4, so I'm happy about that. Oop, here we go.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $5. Lots of anime anniversary stuff this year. Detective Conan just turned 30.
Exactly. I love that. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super will return 8 years later. Exactly. Now, I do not know when this is airing. I don't think they say. Yeah, they don't specify. But what is coming this year is another adaptation of the Beerus arc. And here is where people get a little more miffed. Because we're getting the third adaptation of the Beerus story in animation. I think it's just like, what is this? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is the third time, but I want to reference something that is very interesting. And it comes from, and I first saw this, because I'm going to cite my sources here. I want to reiterate this carefully. The source I saw this from is, of course, because I'm citing my sources, freaking VTubers. Let's go. Are you playing?
We are watching Dragon Ball. Well, not actually watching Dragon Ball, but they announced a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff the other day.
So right here, I'm going to cut ahead right here. Because this is useful. This is useful stuff.
Transition between what we got originally and then leading up to the Tournament of Power. My theory is when we get to Moto, it's going to look more like the Broly movie. So that's my headcanon.
Here we go, right here. Because what Sayu brings up is a really interesting visual comparison that I could find myself, but he's already found it, and I'm going to cite him as a reference. Sayu, of course, is a pretty big VTuber.
This is a straight up shot from the show. Let me move out of the way.
Yeah.
This is a shot from the show 10 years ago.
People forget that when Dragon Ball Super first came out, one of the biggest things everyone criticized was the animation. Week to week, it was a massive point of discussion how much of a downgrade Super looked from even GT. There were so many redrawings of Dragon Ball Super when it was airing of just saying, how can we make this look better? I know on DVD they made it look better or whatever, but still, this was what came out. Like look at this. Hey, look at his fucking hands. Look at his freaking little hand. That's like a baby hand. Like look at this. This looks terrible. This is the hair. What is going on here? This is garbage, you know? It looks terrible. For Dragon Ball, this was unacceptable.
All right. So don't go, you know what I'm saying? Check this out. So the top shot was the one from 10 years ago, right? This is the new shot we're getting.
And look, it's not just that, it's more detailed. It's not just that the colors are different. In general, yeah, it's the same basic shot. It still communicates the same thing. So it's not a new series. But look at the level of detail. This is more aligned with what we got in old school Dragon Ball Z. There's more detail. The colors are maybe not necessarily as bright as they were originally, but they have a tone that has more in common with the original Dragon Ball. The expressions are refined. This isn't just like a weird low eyebrow raised nonsense. This is like very consistent, very angular, more detail. This is not just a remaster. It is a reanimation.
There are worse shots. Just look at the staggering fucking difference, dude. Quality, immaculate. This is more reminiscent to the Broly movie, but we're getting better shots. We're getting new shots. Apparently the episodes are condensed, so it's not going to be like 14 or 20 episodes of the Beerus Saga. We're getting like allegedly, what was it, 6?
6 is much better. 6 is much better.
At Stingertopia3169 super chatted $5. Genuine question: why are a lot of critique about certain anime and shows taking a singular shot during a quick movement to show bad animation?
Well, that's not going to show animation. It's going to show cell by cell. Some animation is just not that great. Dragon Ball Super is well known, especially in the early seasons, for having rough animation. It got better. There are some hype sequences when you get to the Tournament of Power arc, especially. Like, there are some great sequences. But, like, come on. This is an upgrade. This is a clear upgrade. We have more detail, richer colors, deeper colors. It's not going to be a full-blown season. It's going to be it's going to be like the Dragon Ball Kai of Dragon Ball Super. And I'm down for that. I would rather have less anime that's better than more anime that's mid. And the Beerus arc in Dragon Ball Super was always a mid version of what came in Power of Gods, you know? It was always better in the film version. It felt very much like, why are we doing this a second time in the original Super anime? If they're going to reanimate something, they might as well reanimate the stuff that was already not terrific when it first came out. It's worth watching. It's worth taking a look. But am I as excited for this as with the Galactic Patrol? By no means, no. And the other things that were announced too that I'm excited about as well.
Which I'm like, good. Pick up the pace. The angles, they're not so flat. Like, the angles aren't flat. It's like more dynamic angles. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Look at what did they do to my boys? Like, look, it's fucking Gohan looks way better. Like, Vegeta looks way better. Goku, dude, look at that shit. Look at that shit. I mean, hold on, let me go. What is up with his eyes? It's...
Yeah, nothing else really.
I know that.
Other things worth discussing as well. Okay. So right here. Anything else we got here from Toei? Okay. So a few of the things too they announced. There's a new Dragon Ball game coming out. Dragon Ball 100. What else can we... I don't want to do Tyrone Magnus. He keeps copyright striking people who, like, watch any of this stuff. But yeah, no. There's no announcement on GT, unfortunately. I'm excited to see Moro. I want to see Moro. I'm very eager to see what happens with Moro. Year 100. I'm sorry, Year 100. There we go. I'm excited for that. But yeah, no. It's some cool stuff. But I know what you all want to see. I know what you all want. You all want to see the He-Man. The He-Man. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so all right. So GT has been... I like GT. GT's cool. I don't love GT, but I like elements of GT. We got this Reddit image of a Twitter screenshot that's become very popular recently because it is... When I saw the trailer, I knew immediately this was going to be the thing everyone criticized. Immediately. And John Delarose, famous domestic abuser, John Delarose, definitely met the challenge to discuss this. Now they're making a Masters of the Universe and giving He-Man pronouns. These people won't stop until they ruin everything. He-Man. He-Man. He-Man has pronouns. He-Man has the pronoun he in it. He-Man. 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 You know He-Man has pronouns? He-Man has pronouns. I don't know if you know this or not. But He-Man has pronouns. He-Man. He-Man uses the pronouns he, him. But you know it's going to be a joke at the end of this movie. They come back to the real world, and they're going to be like, oh, he, him, and then they cut off and go, He-Man. He-Man, the Master of the Universe. That's what the joke's going to be. Now, obviously, anyone with a brain stem can look at this image and go, the obvious joke here is that He-Man is living a mundane life in the real world. He's basically isekai into reality. And as a result of this, he is now presenting himself as He-Man. Or him, as a boring office worker schlub who is longing for adventure. And he goes out of his boring reality to explore real adventure. Where men could be manly men. We'll get to that later, don't worry. We'll get to the very heterosexual nature of He-Man in a second. But no, they're complaining about bullshit. Now, I have issues with this movie. I have issues with the He-Man movie. And they have nothing to do with the pronouns. It's a dumb thing to be mad about. No, my issues with He-Man is that some shots of it look very desaturated. Look at the... Oh, it's not going to be here. Let me pick up another clip real quick. There are shots of this trailer that look extremely desaturated. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, Super Chat coming in.
At Nick Wolf 3,885 super chatted $2. See, JDA's thinking, He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Exactly. There you go. That's what it is.
Oh, that's...
Stop playing. Cool. So I want to bring this up real quick. Real fast. There are some shots here that look really pretty. Look, this is really pretty to look at. There's a singular source of color in an otherwise bland-looking castle landscape, but it looks fine. Looks competent enough. I like how Castle Grayskull looks. Nope, Super Chat coming in.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. This is what's called a sight gag, John.
Exactly. It is a sight gag. Yeah, no. So if you look, the color palette is very, very yellow-orange, I guess is the right way of putting it, which is fine. It looks okay. It doesn't look bad. It looks like a mid-budget major blockbuster, which is okay, And he has to go to isekai to the real world. And there you go. There's the controversial shot. All of 2 seconds. It's 2 seconds. It's 2 seconds. Two seconds. That's all they got. That's all it took. That's all it took. And He-Man looks bored out of his mind at an office job. Relatable. They're really appealing to the middle-age demographic here. Myself included in that, I'd say. I was a kid when He-Man, when I was born, He-Man was already a little old, I was, early 90s. By then, He-Man was already on its way out, into popularity. Not like Transformers. Transformers, I think, TMNT and Transformers survived the 80s, I think. They have, there's something about those stories that have lasting staying power. And I think it's how easy they've been reinvented over the years. He-Man is very, very, very stuck in the past. Oh, sorry, Super Chat. Thank you so much.
Skellahor super chatted $10. This movie is on thin ice Emperor of the Internet universe.
Ah, thank you. Skellahor. I just saw your name. I love that. All caps. What do you think of the presentation of Skeletor in this movie? Skellahor. I love that. This movie is on thin ice. That's my attempt at a Skeletor impersonation. It's probably terrible. I apologize right there. But I think that He-Man's problem is it's hard to reinvent. Not you, silly. I love that. I'm just going to say your entire lines in a Skeletor
At
voice.
Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $5. I always loved that Castle Grayskull is the good guy's HQ because it would make such a good bad guy lair.
Yeah.
No
right?
wonder Skeletor wants it so bad, lol.
Exactly. It's a great evil lair looking place, I think. What about the Kevin Smith show in the 2023 reboot? We're going to talk about that. I have thoughts on that too. The thing is, I think TMNT has more components going on too. Transformers is easy to recreate. There's more dynamics. There's more politics. There's more
At
ways.
Scorpion 104 super chatted $2. I like the 2000s show. Wanna watch it again?
Yeah, the 2000s show I like too. I like it quite a bit, but I think it ran into the same problems that Thundercats did with his 2011 show. In that they both take an 80s fantasy concept, 80s sci-fi fantasy, and they amp it up. They make it bigger, they make it more connected, they make it more epic.
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $2. 90s gave TF Beast Wars thumbs up, and He-Man Pants thumbs down.
There you go. Fair. There is one obvious exception to all this I'm holding back on discussing for obvious reasons. But the problem is with the 2011 Thundercats and the 2000s He-Man, it's just what came before but bigger. It's not a reinvention like Beast Wars.
At Tall King Movie
2003
Bubbles B6N super chatted $1.99. I forgot the Kevin Smith show existed.
You are welcome for thinking that, because, yeah, a lot of people forgot it existed. And that's the problem with the Kevin Smith show. It was the same concept, but an extension of what came before. It was a maturer ending to what already existed. And it pissed off some people that they apparently took down He-Man too early, which, again, if you watch the show, spoilers, he doesn't die at the beginning of the show. I know, shocking, the He-Man show doesn't kill off He-Man that quickly. But that did alienate a few people. And the problem is you're making the show to be a continuation of what came before, right? So as a result of that, what are you really continuing? Yeah, and the Kevin Smith show's good. I think the 2003 show for He-Man is good. This is not a question of quality. It's a question of how you sell the show to people who don't already like the show. The new generation, the new audience. Get them interested,
At Olivia _Williams _purple fairy super chatted $3.62. I don't care much about He-Man, but the new She-Ra is really good.
The elephant in the room I've avoided mentioning until now because, yes, I agree.
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $2. K. Smith gave a Skeletor saying, OMG, we are, though.
That is true. I do like that. Yes, another point.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Everything but effing Leto makes this movie something I should be more excited about. Loved both Bumblebee and Cubo from the same director.
Yep. The moment you see Jared Leto is Skeletor, it immediately kills my hype. And it's not like Skeletor looks bad. Skeletor looks awesome. Look at Skeletor. Look at that. That is Skeletor. That is and the colors are so great. This is the best shot in the entire trailer by a mile. You have the glowing red eyes, you have the black outfit there, you have the cape, the hood, the fire behind him. This is evil bad guy to a T. But then he's going to open his mouth and it's Jared Leto's voice. Which begs the question, why even cast Jared Leto if he's going to do the same shit he did with the Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion? For those who don't know, Jared Leto was the big bad of the Haunted Mansion film by Disney. It also flopped. Apparently, everything Jared Leto touches flops. Same with Tron Ares. Probably the same with this too. It's going to flop. It's not going to work out. That's the reality of it. But that said, this is cool. I like this. This is good.
At Tall King Movie Bubbles B6N super chatted $1.99. I think anyone would say that about Leto.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Leto is a mess. He is a mess. Yeah, sorry. I was getting myself caught up there for something else. But yeah, no. So The best example of He-Man is the best recent example of He-Man is the N.D. Stevenson She-Ra show. That's the best recent iteration of He-Man, not because it's necessarily the best show, but it is the best reinvention of the world. That's what it comes down to. It managed to reinvent the story for a new generation of people. The best shows that survive from the 80s reinvent themselves. They're not just an extension of what came before. They are a complete reinvention. It is similar enough that you can include the same components, same beats, same all that, but it has to be more or different or for a different audience, geared to something new.
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. Which Disney exec does Leto have dirt on?
I don't know. I don't know if it's enough, because he flopped twice for big failures.
At Funky Honey 2672 super chatted $5. Jared Leto is in this movie? Jester Bell must be really eager to see this.
Agreed. Agreed. So here's the problem. This looks good. It looks good. I kind of want to see it. This looks fine. I'm going to enjoy it probably. But I don't want to go to theaters to see it because Leto's in it. If it's going to be on streaming, I'll watch it on streaming. But I think already I'm turned off by Leto being in there.
At Nicholas Meisel super chatted $2. DuckTales 2017, another great example.
Exactly. And that also was a reinvention. Don't forget, it reinvented itself. It wasn't just the same but bigger or more tied in continuity. It was something similar enough. The bedrock is there. But it's rewritten for the audience that's watching it, which is kids today.
At Bernard_CK super chatted $5. The best role Jared Leto was in was Paul Allen, where he is essentially a ghost throughout the film.
Look, you will. I for the joke, I want to agree with you, but I can't. Unironically, Jared Leto's best role remains this day Requiem for a Dream. That movie is something else. That movie is incredible.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. Jared Leto is a creep and shouldn't be out in public, let alone a studio, and you should read up on the illegal and immoral thing he did. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again. Yes, you should. You should absolutely look up the many illegal things Jared Leto has done over the years and the many ways he's been extremely inappropriate to his co-stars, as well as the cult he leads, where apparently he didn't even notice that COVID was happening because he was stuck on his cult island. Like, Jesus, he is a strange man, putting it nicely. But again, I digress. But okay, so what's the reaction to all this? How are people generally reacting to this? How are the chuds? How are the normal critics, the sane people, the weirdos? How are they all? Again, don't ask me to look up Tyrone Magnus, because Tyrone Magnus copyright strikes every single person who reacts to him, so we're not doing that. I'm not going to waste my time with someone who's so hostile being responded to.
At Yamate Rambles super chatted $5. Switch out Leto with Mark Hamill in a muscle suit and I'll watch it in theaters 100 times.
It's not even a muscle suit. It's total CGI. It's full motion capture. Mark Hamill could just do it. You know, it could be just Mark Hamill. There's no reason Mark Hamill couldn't be Skeletor in this movie. There's just none. There's no reason for it to be Skeletor.
At Nick Wolf 3885 super chatted $5. Shout out to Mr. Nobody. A Jared Leto film I saw for free on Netflix for Kyle Colgren and still felt like I should have demanded a refund from the Big N.
Mr. Nobody's a weird movie. I agree. That's an odd one. I see clips of it every so often on like YouTube Shorts pop up and I'm like, oh yeah, out of context, it sounds like a great movie. But in context, the movie's an endurance test. What do we got here? So we got Angry Joe. Maybe we'll go to him. I'm not sure. Angry Joe's interesting. He's a character. He gave us a good shout out one time, so I'm always happy about that. He's like, yeah, this video is good. Like, hey, I'm down for that. These are all reactions. What about okay? See, okay, so Sean Chandler. It's a good it's a good start. I always with these reactions, I always like a baseline before we go into the nerdrotics or the critical drinkers. I like a baseline. What is the average movie fan's perspective? I think Sean Chandler is the epitome of the average movie critic on YouTube. He's consistently, it's his bonus channel, so it's not his main one. Sean Chandler is, he's not, he wants to go in for a good time. He's going to analyze it to a decent amount. He's not going to go in for the heavy, deep themes.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $2. Mark Hamill would be a great Skeletor.
Mark Hamill is a great Skeletor. What do you think of actual live action Hellsing movie that may come out? There's going to be a live action Hellsing movie. When was that announced? Hamill was Skeletor. Yes, I think in the Kevin Smith show. I think, if I remember correctly. But Sean Chandler, he is the average movie fan, and that's great because he's a great baseline for what's the average person going to feel about these films. He's not always aligned with that. He has opinions, of course, and the average does not mean everyone agrees with him. But I tend to trust him to get like a good finger on the pulse, what people, on average, in our demographic are thinking. Is he sunburned? He always has that like slightly sunburned look to him, I feel like.
First teaser for Masters of the Universe has dropped. I get some childish giddiness going into this one. I'm a kid of the 80s. I'm feeling like a kid at the moment. Will it let me down?
Let's cut ahead.
Alrighty, real quick before I share my thoughts, be sure to share your.
Here we go. Come.
And let's start talking about Masters of the Universe. Let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments section. Now, they've been trying to make this movie for 20 years, and they just have never been able to find the right pitch, the right concept on how do you take like kind of a silly toy and make it something that can be a big epic that plays for a broad audience and not just a niche nostalgia audience. Like it's like there's so much prime material there for a true epic, but how do you be true to what came before? There's like a real tricky balance to get it right. And
at user_225_CCC super chatted $1.99. Making man an Asian guy, it would be really hot.
Would it? Okay, if you say so. That's subjective. Especially if it's like just an Asian guy. Like, which one? There's a lot of Asian guys out there who could, in theory, play He-Man. But that's bordering on yellow fever there. Anyway, make He-Man a himbo. Yes. He-Man should be a himbo. That's required.
Hired the director, he's actually the son of the guy who invented Nikes, and he's huge with Leica film. He did Bumblebee a few years back. He's actually got a really good track record for making character-based stories. And when he did a Transformers movie, it is the most character-based of the Transformers movies. That got me kind of excited. Now then, the set photos started to come out where, our Prince Adam is on Earth, and I'm like, okay, why are we doing all this stuff on Earth? Didn't we learn from that mistake in the 1980s? I actually kind of love the 1980s movie, but it's its own thing, not as a faithful adaptation, just as a thing I grew up with, loving the ingredients of it. But, that was the mistake. We went from Eternia to let's just hang out in the suburbs, and you just kind of lost. And
again, the original He-Man film is, in my opinion, quite a mess. Bumblebee is the best live-action Transformers film. Transformers 1 does not count as live-action. It's animated. But Bumblebee is the best one. Transformers 1, though, is the best theatrical Transformers film ever made. By a mile. And the problem is now, there's never been a good Transformers movie also. That's the other thing, too. The Canon Films group cut the budget down on He-Man. It's apocryphal that they wanted to reallocate the money from He-Man to a Spider-Man film. I know that it's apocryphal. They did that with the Superman 4 movie as well. But they were known to take money from productions that they were budgeted and allocated towards other productions they would later make. And so the movie is very cheap. It's not without merit. I do think Dolph Lundgren's really fun in it. I think that who plays Skeletor, who was also in Frost Nixon, he was Dracula. Oh, what's his name? Good. He was so good in that movie. Skeletor was great in that movie. What's his freaking name? It's an obvious name. It's obvious. Masters of the Universe, 1987. It is so obvious. I'm going to hate myself when I see this. Yeah, Frank Langella. There we go. Frank Langella. Yeah, now I'm seeing you in chat mention it. Yeah, Frank Langella, who's fantastic. Frank Langella was a very good Dracula. He is far from the best Dracula. By a mile. But he's good. He's a very good Dracula. And he's a very good Skeletor. Apparently it's his favorite role, playing Skeletor. Guy was in some of the best movies of all time, but Dracula is the one where I'm like, no, that's my favorite. Like, okay. You were Nixon at one point, man. You were in an Academy Award nominated film about Nixon, and this is the one you like the most. Okay. But it's just fine. It's just fine. I love that. But no, yeah. Superman 4 is the peak of the franchise. Superman 4? Superman 4 is the peak. Chat, are you okay? Chat, who hurt you? Chat, who hurt you, chat? Superman 4 is the best Superman. Chat, this is a wellness check. Are you guys okay? Do you guys need help? Do you guys want help? Superman 4 is the best one. I ask you. Anyway. So. Yeah, no, I'm with him so far. Let's hear his thoughts.
We found out this one was also going to be on our Earth. You know, what exactly are we doing here with the movie? And the immediate thing that you can say coming out of this teaser is that, like, if you're afraid we're not going to get a big epic Eternia, we're not going to get the chest piece, the underoos, the sword. If you're afraid you weren't going to get Eternia action and it was all going to be set on the Earth, this seems like it reverses the formula, like completely, like flips this thing on its head.
That's true. It does look like an inverse of the He-Man movie from the 80s, but that's not enough for me to get excited. Like, yeah, it's better that we're going to be geared towards fantasy, but it's not really enough to get me interested. Oh, it's an inversion. Okay, we have better
At
effects
Olivia
now, better
_Williams _ Fairy super chatted $1.45. Superman 4 is still better than Man of Steel.
Okay, listen. No, I'm sorry. I can't pretend that's the case. Man of Steel has a lot of problems. It does. But Superman 3 and 4 are another level of bad. Like Superman 4 is fun bad, I think. I think Superman 3 is actually worse than Superman 4. Because unlike Superman 3, Superman 4 is so bad it can be kind of funny. Superman 3 is just annoying. And it's a shame because Richard Pryor is the most annoying part of that film. Which is not something you should ever have because Richard Pryor is a really good comedian. The only part about Superman 3 I like is that there is the scene where Superman fights himself. And that's where the movie ends. Richard Pryor is irritating. Oh, and the scene where the computer friggin' like grafts itself to that woman, it's deeply disturbing, but it's the best part of the movie. Everything else is a bore, and it's long. Superman 4 is mercifully short. So you're stuck being annoyed for far less time. And also, Nuclear Man is so stupid and so ridiculous. You kind of like that. I kind of got to admire that. Yeah, Richard Pryor is great, but he was just in a bunch of bad movies, yeah. The computer scene is deeply affecting, though, from Superman 3. I will give you that. It's one of the best child-friendly body horror sequences I've ever seen, which is wild to me. It's so nuts. But yeah, no. So it being an inversion is not enough for me. I knew it was going to be anyway. They have the money for this. We also don't know how much time's going to be spent in the human world versus the fantasy world. That's not sure.
At Yamate Rambles super chatted $2. Superman 4 doesn't have Jared Leto.
Yeah,
HJ.
But no Superman movie has Jared Leto except for Zack Snyder's Justice League, which, that is the worst part of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the flash, the end credit scenes.
At Eustace Giwo super chatted $5. Skeletor's Solik in the live-action 80s Masters of the Universe is legend.
Yes.
Peak 80s cheese.
It is absolutely fantastic. Frank Langella is great as Skeletor. No argument there. But yeah, so it's an inversion. We kind of knew it was coming. The best I'm hoping for is it has like a Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves vibe to it. Though I don't think that's the case. D&D Honor Among Thieves is, to me, the perfect movie to watch at 11 o'clock at night. You put it on. You might be a little tired. Maybe you're coming home from a party or something like that. You put it on TV, or you find it in the middle of cable, even better, if cable still exists, which I don't really use anymore. And you watch it midway through on. It's the perfect film. It's ideal. There are certain films that have a vibe. I think Highlander. I was going to say Outlander. Highlander is another example of this. The first Die Hard, another example of this. Any of the Predator films, except for The Predator. There is a great moment in there. Those are the kinds of films that when you put them on and you watch them, you experience them, and lo and behold, you have a good time. So there you go. It's good stuff.
Yeah, he's on Eternia, but he's coming back, and like all the action we see in this, I believe, is on Eternia, and with battle cats, crazy looking Skeletors, all of that stuff. So, and what you get from their little tease is that, like the world of He-Man, like he's in our world where it's almost kind of like it with Thor, how the mythology of Thor is based on a real thing. That's what the toy stuff was. Exactly how that plays, I don't know. But it's like a really interesting little way to have very much 80s nostalgia, even for the pop culture side of He-Man, while kind of having your own little story in him. The last 20-ish seconds or whatever really were what sold me on the trailer. Not that I was against it, but it was very much a teaser for the first 90 seconds of our setup here, that the prince is in exile to keep him safe. He must return, the return of the king. Any number of these stories of the person with the power, the rightful ruler, whatever you want to call it, was sent away and must return to save the day. But then you get that last 20-ish seconds where you get like, all right, they're going all in on the costume. Skeletor looks cool, and we are battling it out in Eternia. That is what we have wanted. So this teaser, I guess this teaser did its job. Its job is to raise my anticipation, ease some of my fears, give me a flavor of where things are heading without spoiling it. It was able to do some very toy accurate, cartoon accurate He-Man stuff, but look like epic when it did. Like, all right, we're going for it. All right, we're having fun with this. That's what it needed to do. Other thing you got to mention in here is...
Yeah, so it is exactly what the audience wants, right? The core middle-aged audience wants the dopamine hit of playing with action figures. And I say this as someone approaching middle age. You need that. But... is that enough? Because if I want to see action figures being played around with, I watch D&D the movie from the 2003, 2022, 2023, 2022, whatever. That's a better version of what we're talking about here. It's a better version because we know it exists. And it does not have Jared Leto in it. It has Hugh Grant, which I guess is not great either. But as far as I know, Hugh Grant doesn't have a cult, so, we did fight some cultists in, what was it, Heretic? Was that it? I like that one. Yeah, Honor Among Thieves is great. It's my favorite, blockbusters in the last 5 years. Shame it flopped.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $2. Honor Among Thieves knew the kind of movie it was.
Honor Among Thieves is just a great movie. It is a masterful example of taking a source material and properly adapting it. I thought every second of it's great. The only problem I have is it doesn't know what a bard is. They call Chris Pine's character a bard, but he's more like a rogue, right? He uses trickery like a rogue. He uses sleight of hand like a rogue. He doesn't have any inspiration boosts. He doesn't have any vicious mockery attacks. He doesn't use any bardic magic. He's not a bard at all. He's a thief. He's a rogue, which is good. It's a class, but like it's not a bard. So don't call him a bard, He's like ranked, oh, he's a bard. Like, no, he's not. He has no bardic inspiration. He's not. That's not what he's about. He's a rogue. A rogue bard multiclass, maybe, but he doesn't use bardic inspiration in any combat. Like out of combat, sure, but that's not mechanical. That's just role play. You can do anything with that. Anyone could do that if you're a high enough charisma check. He's a bard-flavored rogue. That's what he is. Yeah, exactly. Chris Pine doesn't seduce any dragons. I love that comment. 0 out of 10. No dragon seduction in this D&D movie. Yeah, that's how you know it's not an authentic D&D experience. No one seduces the dragon. Or the Mind Flayer, for that matter. Or any monster. But yeah.
That there were some test screenings for this movie, I think 6 weeks, 2 months ago. I don't know, a little bit ago, but not very long ago. It was test screened. And a couple different people no one messaged me about it. None of my people I know have seen it, but through 2 different people that I follow that I tend to trust on these things, not people that just lurk in the realm of rumor mill and things like that. But both sides, 2 very different people that I follow that had people that they knew message them about attending this test screening. It was all positive. One of them, I believe the person that saw it and messaged John Campea about it was like very, very positive. And so, of course, that was encouraging. And then over on the other side, I believe it was Mr. H, who's like in no way connected to Cambia, but his own sources, and they were positive. Just saying like it's a really fun movie. And so I felt like this teaser probably it maybe intentionally held back on the fun side of the movie. You have the one bit where he's grabbing the sword and like the person, what are you doing? You get a little bit of the flavor of the humor, and you get a flavor of the way that the pop culture stuff that would of course have a quirky side to it. Mm-hmm. But I think the teaser was a little bit more to making you, hey, we've got a serious side here. Like here's our fantasy epic that we're doing to it. It's not all jokes. It's not all silliness. We'll give you like a flavor. So, we got that in here. We're going accurate. But fun was the word that the test screen people said about it. Like real lighthearted, like really enjoyable, like a real crowd pleaser, a lot of entertainment value. And, even we only get little flashes of the action, but the action looked cool. Like it looked like, oh man, awesome. And a little bit of humor in there, a little bit of how it can tie into 80s pop culture nostalgia. Looked good. Honestly, there's nothing really about this teaser that make this is.
That's the general reaction. There's nothing here that looks bad. Test screenings are good. Everything I've heard tells us this movie will be good. It'll be a good time. Whole family can go watch it. It'll be a fun time. But what do the chuds think? What do the chuds think? Let's take a look at the big point of entertainment. We all know what we want to see. Let's look at these guys. What do the chuds think? Hey, they might like it. Who knows? Let's go down the list. We got Nerdrotic. We got As Babyface, whatever. We got well-known. I love how he fucking has his whole fucking title here. Shad M. Brooks, author, Shadow of the Conqueror. It's Shadiversity, Night's Watch, first of his name, all that bullshit. Disparu, who's, I don't really know that well. Odin of OMB Reviews. I don't care who he is. Ryan Kennel, OK Outpost. Okay. Robert Mayer Burnett. Oh, yeah, he's there, I guess. Chrissy Mayer and Ian K. of Comics Division. Now, do we have... Okay, if As does not... Okay, chat, let's have the over-under here. Chat, let's make a bet. Let's make a game. Let's make a game out. Let's have some fun with it. Chat, will As complain about pronouns in He-Man? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe so? Let me know in chat right now. Do you think Az is going to complain about pronouns in the He-Man movie? Pronouns in the He-Man movie. Let's see if chat thinks so. Now, going into this, this seems like a movie geared towards this audience. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a good thing, I think, to an extent. We need variety in movies, sure. But we need movies that are just pure nostalgic, this escapism. That's fine, you know. But the neurotic audience depends on outrage. So, my second question is this. Will they complain about He-Man? Or will they complain about modern films not being like this He-Man movie? This showing the mainstream what to do and what's what, you know? What's it going to be? Who knows? We'll find
At
out.
Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $2. Will the sun be there in the morning? Ask question.
Basically, but it's good engagement bait, isn't it?
At Zypher 8677 super chatted $2. The Legion of Doom is assembled.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom. All right, I think we can end the poll now. 98% of you guys think, yeah, Az is going to mention something. Of 92 votes, only like 2%, which is like one of you, didn't think it was going to mention the pronouns.
At Itsuboy 562 super chatted $1.26. Insert The Simpsons. Say the line, meme here.
Precisely. It's inevitable, Az will mention pronouns. We know he's going to. And if he doesn't, his co-stars will bust his chops about it. The real questions I have are, A, does Shadiversity cause a scene again? First time Shadiversity's been on the channel in a while, actually, so this is almost nostalgic. I'm almost feeling excited about this. This is like an old friend coming back to the channel.
At Mantis1515 super chatted $2.68. Nightmare blunt rotation right there.
That's a scary blunt rotation, I'll tell you that right now. It could be worse. I mean, you could be worse. Mauler could be there. You could, I imagine you'd be very, actually, would that be worse? I don't know. I imagine he'd be the kind of person who starts like talking a lot about like a topic no one's interested in and just goes on in excruciating detail. And everyone's like, okay, that's great, man. Shut up. Let's go play with Legos or something. Will Ryan be racist? I mean, who's he going to be? I mean, Idris Elba's in the movie. I forgot about that. He might be racist against Idris Elba, the Academy Award-winning actor. Idris Elba, universally beloved by everyone. I'm sorry, Sir Idris Elba now. Yeah, compared to all the ones here, Mauler's the most boring. Yeah, Mauler would not be. Rags would be worse. Yeah, Rags would be terrifying night rotation. Lily Orchard is not invited. No one would invite Lily Orchard to the... Where's Jezebel? Not included in this discussion. I'll be honest with you. The quartering is too busy using his drain. Yeah, apparently the quartering is on the outs with all the grifters I was seeing. Eric, if you're still in chat, I know you did a video on that.
Meisel super chatted $2. Shad Man. And the grifters of the universe.
Yes, there we go. That's what we're going to call it. Shad Man and the grifters of the universe. I love it. Great. Lily has higher standards than these morons. No, she doesn't. She does not have higher standards. She's just worse at marketing herself. Anyway, I've delayed the inevitable. We got let me put subtitles on, make sure we have all the English. I guess we have English auto generated. Playback speed. Let's go to 1.25. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna make sure the subtitles are big enough for y'all. Really? Oh, here you go. Options. There we go. Font size 100. There we go. Cool. Let's take a look. Come on.
We need an Indian He-Man who says, I have to shower!
Jesus Christ. That took 5 seconds. Jesus Christ. That's fucked up, man. You're an asshole. Oh my God. That's how you open up your fucking stream, huh? I guess they're appealing to the base audience of racists, I guess. Wow, that was quick. I didn't even think it would take... I thought it would take a little bit longer to be extremely racist, but holy shit. That's just awful, man. It's fucked up. Yeah, I you know what? Listen, Listen, here's what I'll say about these grifters. Believe someone when they tell you who they are to your face. All right? When someone tells you they're a racist, believe them. Because they probably are. My God, that's a fucking way to open up your thing. And just a rage bait, so don't get mad at it. Just roll your eyes at it. Wow. Well then, I'm going to skip ahead so you don't get copyright struck from that.
At
Oh,
Scorpion 104 super chatted $5. Shad's talk about Superman might be been my first live stream here.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's great. Oh, it's a bigger chat. Oh, there's more people here. Hang on a second, isn't it? Or am I mistaken? No, it's same people. It's laid out differently. Oh,
At the
Zoo.
Wayrunner super chatted
Oh,
$2. Was racist so fast summoning Salt is gonna cover it.
Yeah, no, right? It was speedy racism. Jesus. Wait, Neutrotic as Shad, Ryan, Zoo. I don't know who Zoo is. Robert Mayo. Someone's missing. Ian from Comics Division. Wait, who's missing here? Desparu. Desparu's missing, I think, right? Huh, okay, that's
At
odd.
Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. Y'all ought to know by now that they don't need to see somebody of another ethnicity in the cast for them to be like cry over perfectly good milk.
Exactly. No, they don't need to. They'll just make up a racist thing to cry about. John is hated by humans with a pulse and the undead. Yeah, it's valid. Why give them exposure? Well, to make fun of them. And see them complain about nonsense. Because, again, they got a rage bait, but this trailer is geared to them. This is like a pitch in their direction. They can't be happy about anything. They have to complain about something. But this trailer was made in a lab to appeal to them. You know, it's everything they've wanted and more. This is the thing about the grifters people don't realize. Victory has defeated them. Who are they rage baiting to with this? You know? You can only rage about he, him pronouns on a tag for so long when the joke is obviously making fun of the work environment.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. Man at Arms is black and Tila is Latina. You know if they couldn't use Leto's casting as a blow against cancel culture, they'd whine about that.
Exactly.
Although I just want to point out, I bought the entire line of the very original He-Man figures, and this is going to seem a little weird for you guys.
No, it's
on June 4th, 1982, which was the day that Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan opened, and I was at KB Toys in the Bellevue Square Mall before I went and saw Wrath of Khan.
Nice.
And I bought the Rebel Troop Transport figure case for the Star Wars figures.
Wow.
And I saw these wacky He-Man figures, and I bought the original line. And those are the only He-Man figures
Robert
I ever
Meyer
owned.
Burnett had the most 80s day ever.
Congratulations. You know what I mean? Like, great. Okay. Like, I don't give a fuck. He thinks like, oh man, I've got the coolest store. Like, okay. You bought figures and you saw Wrath of Khan. Cool. When I saw Spider-Man 2, I went to a pizzeria afterwards, and I didn't think of, he just stole that man's pizza. You know? I didn't say pizza time after getting pizza right after seeing Spider-Man 2. Bentwell's 2000's day ever. Give me a fucking break, man.
Dude, I saw Star Trek 2 4 times that day.
Here's the problem I have with a lot of these guys. They confuse the aesthetics of fandom with being a fan. And at the end of the day, who gives a shit? You know, I saw Wrath of Khan 4 times in theaters. Who gives a fuck, man? Who gives a shit? I would have voted for Obama a 3rd time, actually. Okay, buddy.
At Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $2. Noah just started a stream about the claim.
Oh, come on. You okay, Noah. No. Ah, man. He really started to stream right now about it. Let it sit a little, man. Okay. Okay, if that's what you want to do, Noah, that's
At
fine.
WC Wit super
I wouldn't
chatted
recommend it.
$2. Ready Player One-itis.
It is Ready Player One-itis. It really is. Like, Noah, you gotta... Okay, Noah, if you watch this, please stop responding right now. Let the dice fall in place before you respond. You can't engage with controversy as it's happening live in person. It's a bad idea. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I can't stop him from streaming. So, you know what? If he wants to stream, let him. But I think it's a bad idea. I really think it's a bad idea. You gotta let controversy settle before you respond to it. You cannot go in hot-headed. You can't go in hot-headed to controversy. It's gonna blow up in your face. Yeah, no. Yeah, Burnett was... I don't think Burnett was always this way. I think he was, like, better at some point. I think he just lost his marbles at some point.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $2. These guys have Ernest Cline style fandom.
Yeah, seriously, really. Anyway.
And they had a Legendarium show before every show.
Oh,
if you were hanging out with Ferris Bueller, that would have been it,
that
mate.
would have been it. A little early for that. 82. I was 12.
June 4th, 1982.
All right. So there's a trailer for He-Man. A new trailer. And I didn't hate the little pre-trailer thing they did with the cereal and the exercising. I thought that was fine. But let's take a look at this.
Hey, Jazzy, what's going on? And literally all I did was say something. Wait, what's going on, Jazzy? I missed this entirely. Someone who's in deep shit recently, you got to take a minute, calm down, and decide how best to approach it. Yeah, no, you gotta. You can't jump into controversy this quickly. You gotta ease back. Think
At
things through.
Stingertopia 3169 super chatted $5. I think he's saying that he messed up, at least with the title. Obviously, it's progressing as I'm listening.
You can't do that until the die falls into place. You gotta, and I've had experience of this where I try to respond too quickly. You gotta let things cool off a little before you respond. Oh man, and he did mess up. He did mess up entirely. It's him. But like, dude, you gotta let it sit a little bit. Oh.
At WC Wit super chatted $5. I'd rather hear the story of kids who made cardboard swords of power and made Super -8 fan films in their backyards than how many toys someone bought.
Agreed. Like, here's the thing. You can buy all the action figures you want. That's cool, but it's not the same as a bunch of kids pretend in the playground and make up their own stories. That's the real magic of childhood right there. It's not if you owned 15 mint condition figurines that you keep in your backyard. It's whether you went out in the yard and like had some imagination, Kids playing He-Man in elementary school. Remember that? Kids playing like that was fun. But like, that's different than owning the figurines and playing with them, which is cool too, but like it's not that you could never own all the figurines. Your parents only let you bought a few of them, and you bought them a few at a time, and you played with them, and you loved those toys. There was a couple of toys you could have purchased, or your grandmother gave them to you as a gift. But going out and saying, "Oh, I bought all the mint figurines and all the toys and have all on my shelf right now," I'm like that's not really. That's the aesthetics of childhood. It's not the meaning of it.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers.
That was great.
Spaceships.
Put us on the side.
Oh, you can tell they'd use the music remove function because of the way it sounds. Like the audio sounds really rough. That's because they use the built-in remove song function from YouTube to mute the sound, I think.
And magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god.
Good job with this.
Where I come from, that stuff is real.
Let's see if we have them react.
Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe.
Okay, you know it's coming. You know it. I want to see the reaction for when they get to the song.
So I sent you to a place I knew they'd never find you.
People are on the fence about this, but I think it actually will work.
Wait a second. Was that an intelligent decision? Wait, hang on a second. Wait a second. Guys, I think we've heard something miraculous. Hang on. Guys, Let's go back a couple seconds. Did I just hear a miracle?
Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe.
Might have heard a miracle just now.
So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
People are on the fence about this, but I think it actually will work.
Did Shadiversity say something halfway reasonable? Oh, it only took a year, but we found something. They found something reasonable to say. I love it. I love it. Shad said something not totally crazy. Oh, guys, let's give him a hand. Give him a hand for not being a total dumbass. Oh my goodness. I'm kidding, of course. He says
At
something.
WC Wit super chatted $2. Michael the Good Place voice. Shad figured it out?
I know, right? Shad figured it out. You know what, though? Let's hear him out. I think he realizes, on occasion, he will prove he's not a complete idiot. That's important. You know? It's vital. They had AI music removal. Yeah, they used that. Yeah.
About him being sent to another world. I actually think they're tying in She-Ra's origin with this to justify.
There's a logic. There's a logic. Yeah.
I think they can
back to
actually
him.
And never mind. Okay, cool. So the problem is, I think he's missing the forest for the trees here. They could be tying in She-Ra. That'd be something.
At Itsuboy 562 super chatted $1.26. I have been blue-balled beyond comprehension.
Right? I know. Same.
At Nicholas Meisel super chatted $5. Hell has frozen over in the Midwest, and Shad said something reasonable.
I know. I'm stunned too. Now again, he is walking it back a bit by focusing on like how it ties in with lore. And yeah, that could be it. That could be it, which is fair. I think he's missing the forest for the trees, which is just to say they're trying to contrast the boring mundanity of existence with the incredible awesomeness of the fantasy world. That element is vital, right? That contrast is very important. Contrasting imagination with boring, dull reality. The Matrix does it. Most isekai stories do that too, which this is what it is. It is an isekai story, essentially. If She-Ra is the next movie, that'd be pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, I would like that. Especially if they get like a tall, statuesque person to play She-Ra. I'm biased. I'm very easily certain things that will get me to watch a movie, and a very strong my just getting with that one will definitely get me there in seconds.
That's the thing about this trailer. I actually kind of dig all the Eternia stuff. Like, it looks over the top and a little bit cheesy and whatever. What I don't particularly love is yet another, hey, we're in the real modern day world. And
right.
That's I don't like it. But again, I'm not a He-Man fan. I don't know like if there's ever had anything like that. I don't know anything about She-Ra. That's not my shit, right? So from my perspective.
Well, Master of the Universe, the first film, had it, so.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $5. I was, and still am, a massive Power Rangers fan, but I only ever had one toy.
That's right. I only had one toy, maybe two. I had two. I had one of the Megazords. I had a Blue Ranger because I loved the color blue as a kid, so that was the one I had to get. But that was ages ago, and I might have had another one I just forgot about. But like, I remember more playing with the toys and making like adventures with all the. I had like a. You know what I had actually back in the day? I had a Mecha Ghidorah toy, and I hadn't even seen Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah yet. So I just knew it was Mecha Ghidorah. I didn't know who Mecha Ghidorah was. I didn't know what the context was for how he was made. I just thought, oh, it's a cool dragon with 3 heads and one's like a robot head, you know? Mechanical robot wings. It was just cool. And the imagination took off from there. No context, just the
At
potential.
WC Wit super chatted
Godzilla was
$2.
obviously, though.
Prince Adam's mom is from Earth for what it's worth.
That's important. That is very important. I love how the voice thing actually spells out what it is for what it's worth. I've seen Vera's video about this. No, I have not. I might play. Let's watch Vera's video right now, because that's actually a little. I prefer listening to her perspective. Yeah, I'd rather listen to her than. Where was it? Was it a full video? Oh, Council Geeks almost 100K subscribers. That's awesome. I'd love that. Was it a live? Was it a short? Oh, here we go. It's a short. Perfect. That's easy enough to watch real quickly. Watch real quick. Council Geeks, awesome channel. Watch them if you can. Let's take a look right here.
Okay, so there is one specific aspect of the discourse around the trailer for the Masters of the Universe film that has taken over the entire conversation. And I kind of called it. The first time I saw that right there, I said, I bet you the conservatives are going to lose their minds over that.
And they did.
And surprise, surprise, yeah, some of them did. I expected that. I called it. What I didn't call is that the folks on the left wouldn't get it either. Look, like, don't get me wrong. People are absolutely correct to be dunking on these people by pointing out you're complaining that He-Man has pronouns. You're not wrong. Yeah. But there's another layer. It's not even that deep that y'all are missing, and it's strange to me. So let's really talk about this image, and let's talk about the full context, because this movie decided that Adam doesn't know he's He-Man. He's been raised on Earth. He lives there. He has no idea of the power that he has. And this is what they've decided to do with him. I mean, look at his face. He is miserable. Yep. This is not where he's supposed to be. This is the worst possible place for him. Yep. This is possibly even fundamentally a wrong place in general, but it is especially a wrong place for him. And part of how they choose to emphasize that is by putting pronouns on the nameplate. It's emasculating. And I think that's important to know because it makes the conservative crying about it even stupider. Yeah. Because in context, it's a joke they'd probably agree with if they understood it. Yeah. Now, I've said that elsewhere. I've had some people push back on this and said, well, maybe it's not meant to be emasculating. Maybe they're just like doing a general joke, about the fact that his name is...
No, she's entirely correct. 100% correct. I was saying before how the material world's clearly a foil to the imaginary world of Eternia. It's clear that the mundanity is meant to contrast with the fantasy. This is not a happy place for him. Agreed. No, yeah, totally correct. And I'm sure what's going to happen is when the movie ends, he's going to go back to his world and it's going to like show the name tag or something like that. It's going to smash into like He-Man or something like that. It's going to transition from he-him to He-Man, something like that. It's a great take. And she's right. And a lot of people didn't get that because they look at things very much in focus of just how it slots into the culture war. And just that. No deeper than that. And that's a problem. Because we just look at things in terms like, the culture war says this is that, or this is this. No. It's how the movie's intentions are. And it's clear from the framing, the mortal plane is boring. It is dull. It is suffocating. It is emasculating. It is choking the potential that Adam has to excel beyond his limits. So, again, anyone complaining is fucking stupid. Vera's right. Vera is, as usual, correct.
He-Man, and they did a thing. You're ignoring all the context in which this exists. Yeah. Is it possible there's additional context that I don't know that might make it not what I just said it is? Yeah, sure, that's possible. I suppose theoretically, maybe he voluntarily put those pronouns on there. Maybe he's the only one in there with pronouns on there, and people actually think it's weird that he has he right on his nameplate, and that's the joke. Except that even though that's possible, at this point I'm writing fan fiction and inventing new context that would make it not emasculating, because as presented with the context we currently have, it is. That's the point of it. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. I'm not really super inclined to give benefit of the doubt to a movie funded by Amazon in the year of our Luigi 2026. Is it funny that a certain kind of conservative pundit lost their mind over this? Yes, it is. But also, I'd feel better if more of you could recognize what it is actually even going on there, if for no other reason than it makes it even funnier that they got mad about it, because they'll probably end up agreeing with the joke in full context. Okay, so there is one specific aspect of the discourse around the trailer for the Masters of the Universe film that has taken over the...
Yeah, she's right. Okay, cool. No, she's correct. Sorry, I just got a message from something else entirely different. But yeah, no, she's completely correct. All right, now you've seen that. Let's take a look to see how the right-wingers react. See if they pick up on any of the subtext as well. I suspect at least one of them will have to notice the deeper messaging here. They have to notice it. And if they don't notice it, then they're just not looking at the movie the right way, I would say. And in terms of how the trailer clearly frames the use of pronouns.
She-Ra was stolen as a baby by Hordak and Skeletor, and they could actually tie that in quite well because, like, there are narrative problems that the family just forgot.
Oh, hey, Alec Gunter, welcome. Come on in. We're talking about He-Man and the He-Man Women Haters Club, apparently. I'm kidding. There's some women in this stream, too. We're talking now about He-Man trailer to get you guys up to speed real fast. General consensus is He-Man movie looks pretty good. Watching Council of Geeks video where Vera was talking about how it looks like the trailer is showing the mortal world as emasculating, as showing it being a mundane, boring existence contrasted with Eternia's fantasy. And well, we're gonna see this nerdrotic stream clip and see if they can pick up on that.
Like, obviously, they did it later. She-Ra was never part of the original story.
Love
and
Vera.
if it was...
Vera has a very good criticism of me personally on her channel that I would recommend you watch. It's very useful. I thought it was really compelling. And I think I've told Vera that I thought it was really good, too. I think I made a comment saying this is really good. This is a really good critique of me. This was back a while ago. Yeah, no, 100% agree with everything she said about me. Totally.
Why didn't they ever mention that, Adam has a twin sister and all that stuff? And
well,
if they actually
a lot of stuff changed over the years, too, with how He-Man was initially created. And the other thing, too, with the original cartoon, allegedly, and I don't think they actually worked this into the story, He-Man's mom was supposed to be from Earth.
See, so there are interesting things that they can work with here, and the character of Adam was always handled interesting in the cartoon, where he was a bit of a goof out of place, and he always played it down, and that can work in. Actually, they could work with that with what they're doing here, and tie in She-Ra's origin as well, that they both had to be sent away for safety. And so I think that there's potential that actually could work with what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still stunned that Shadiversity has a halfway decent take. I'm still taking it. I'm still in awe of that. I'm in awe. Good for you, Shad, having a decent take every so often. Like, not a great take, but like, like he's trying. I'll give him that. He's putting effort into. He's probably putting more effort into this than anyone else on stream. I'll give it to him. He is putting in the effort to have a decent take, and I gotta respect that. I gotta respect that when it happens. But you know what? He was dead wrong with Superman repeatedly, but you know what? I listen. I take pride in saying that when someone I disagree with on a fundamental existential level has a halfway decent take every so often, I'll give him credit for it. And when someone I agree with generally does something wrong, I'll criticize it. This stream's a good example of that. I just criticize someone on my side and praise someone on the other side. So there you go. Peace on earth, I guess.
So we got the him here.
Wonder how long it lasts. Oh, there we go.
Which
Hey.
I think it's a joke. He's working in an HR department. And
you think it's a joke? Good job. They figured it out. What is this? They figured it out. Good job for you. You figured out an obvious joke is in fact a joke. Everyone give a round of applause. Round of applause in chat. Let's give them all a good clap for figuring out the obvious joke a 12-year-old could figure out. You know what? Maybe things are changing. Maybe He-Man is what they needed to jog their brains into place. Who knows? Well, again, we know they're extra racist at the start of this, so I don't have high hopes.
He's about to get bitched out by his black bitch boss about how he's making people feel uncomfortable and asking
that
for
didn't take long. That didn't take long for the racism. We applauded too quick, guys. That was the problem. Jesus fucking Christ, these people. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's how you know. Listen. Whenever you think, I gotta give it to them. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're only 5 seconds away from them saying something outrageous.
consent for all these things. Look, it is modern day Hollywood where we have watched every single thing we love get absolutely desecrated one way or another. So I get why everyone's sensitive about this. To me, in a he-man movie, making a he-him joke while he's working in HR and while he's clearly miserable with his life and knows he belongs somewhere else, I view it as a joke, but certainly we could be proven wrong. I think there's...
How is Vera from Council of Geeks and Ryan Kinnell having the same take from different political angles? This is wild. That being said, though, of course, Ryan Kinnell's take involves a heavy dosage of racism in the process, but I digress.
At Arthur Clybourne writes super chatted $2. There's the racism.
There's the racism. We found it, guys. We found it. Again, never give these people a chance. They will always disappoint you.
Right. Overreact to a he-him joke in a he-man trailer, personally.
I think if you're marketing something like this, though, you should be aware of the time that you're in and make it very clear that you are joking.
Yeah.
You can't just because I think it is perfectly normal's the wrong word.
Reasonable,
understandable for people to take it that way.
Yes, absolutely.
Who's talking? That wasn't Az. That was someone else, right?
Yeah, I think the bigger warning signs, if there's going to be a woke agenda here, is the race swap of Man-at-Arms and the approach of Tila. I think this is more...
There we go. Yep, Shadiverse is complaining about Idris Elba being in your movie. Idris Elba. Shad, you're complaining that friggin' Idris Elba is in your He-Man movie. It's so terrible. We have Sir Idris Elba in the movie.
More just, a joke on the fact that it's very similar to He-Man's name.
I said it's nothing more of a joke, and also the fact that he, as Ryan said, he wants to escape this life. He does escape this life. This is a guy who's at his desk, fucking probably dying of crushing boredom, and then in a couple of moments' time, we're going to see him in a ship, excited, happy, full of wonder, and we're going back to Eternia. So, I think this to me is just a clear joke on current, isms.
Last year,
Okay, so the 98% of you that said Az was going to make a pronoun reference in this video, you all lost. All of you lost. Not a single one of you were right. But I was correct. You see, I was the one who said, I'm kidding, I didn't actually vote in the whole poll. But no, I had a feeling this was going to be the case because here's the thing people don't realize, and I think it's important to mention this because everyone will always conflate all these guys with the other one. John De La Ruse is a fucking loser even on the right standards. This guy sucks so much, even the other grifters don't want anything to do with him. John De La Ruse is one of the lamest, worst people in the entire grifter sphere. And I know that Shadiverse... Sorry, where are you? I know Shadiversity is one of the only guys here who regularly streams with him. And all these grifters will use Fandom Pulse, John De La Ruse's publication, as a reference to justify their causes. But there is no loyalty with John De La Ruse. Everyone here only can tolerate him as much as they can use him. Because John De La Ruse is an opportunist who has pissed off enough people on all spectrums of the political aisle to make him a pariah. Even the other grifters know he's full of shit. Even people who stream with him know he's full of shit. Let that one sink in. So while all of us, myself included, were pointing to John De La Ruse and going, take a look at this loser. This is what the right thinks about the movie. That's not really the case. And it's important to distinguish that. This is a movie that I think also the thing is that by this point in time, Nerdrotic had already seen John De La Ruse react. This was the reaction way after everything else. So they've had time to measure, does this get the audience's attention? Is this gaining traction or is it gaining rejection even for our own base? And it turns out even their own base doesn't buy this bullshit. That is important to remember. Because the grift only functions if it has momentum. Can it have momentum anymore? No. Remember for 4 months, let's see. Erminator Rules. Thank you for the membership for 4 months. You really have to be a piece of shit to alienate your own allies. Oh wait, he is a court-documented piece of shit. Exactly.
At Honcho Super Chatted $1.99. Love how #1 bats an eye at Adam's pink shirt today.
No one bats an eye at Adam's pink shirt today. It's perfect. It was perfect then too. It's comic accurate. It's cartoon accurate. All right, let's keep going.
CinemaCon.
Actually, you know, I'm gonna have a quick bathroom break. Right back. Chat, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna play some quick music for you all. Let's have this play real quick. Right back, guys. Chat, I'm back. Hope no one left. One sec. Let me abruptly cut the music here. There you go. I'm back now. Cool. Wait, am I... Oh, I'm dumb. There we go. That's better.
At Yokai Lover 699 super chatted $5. Showed my folks the him sign. They thought it hilarious. An obvious but funny He-Man joke.
Yeah, it's obvious what the joke is. I'm stunned no one figured it out. Except for apparently Shadiversity. Like, Jesus. I am stunned that... You know what? I'm not that stunned. I'm not going to pretend I'm like... that the sky is falling, so to speak. But it is pretty stunning. Anyway, back to this.
This is part of Amazon MGM is making a big push into theatrical distribution. And their first movie, I hate to say, was Mercy, which I saw yesterday, and I wanted to put a bullet in my face.
Wow.
And then I went and saw...
Jesus, how am I agreeing with these guys so much? This is concerning. Mercy is terrible. You know, maybe I can... No, I'm not going to forgive the racism when I talk. These guys are fucking lunatics. That's the problem with these guys. They will intersperse their immense racism and their immense bigotries with points that almost sound palpable. Yeah, this is Amazon's next big push for theatrical films. They want a tentpole franchise they can make a franchise out of. Yeah, Mercy is terrible. it is inherently one of the worst films to have come out in Hollywood in a very long time. It motivated me to even start scripting a video about sci-fi law enforcement and justice and all that. This ain't The Sopranos. Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's not The Sopranos. But that said, it's broken clocks. Twice a day, they're always right. And these guys are wrong for most of it. But, Mercy's terrible. Mercy's bad. God, yeah, don't. No. Watch it if you want to see it's so bad it's good film. But it's pro-AI and pro-fascistic law enforcement. It is really, really, it's not just bad. And also on top of all that, it's also just a bad movie. So it's the ideas behind it are bad. And the movie is bad. For everyone after Miss Lala. Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. Miss Lala had him, dead to rights, though. Miss Lala, Rev says Desu thought he can pull a fight with a Brooklyn VTuber and thought this would go well. No way. You never pick fights with a New Yorker. You just don't. If you're not prepared for it, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Actually, is she from Brooklyn or is she from Queens? I forget. She has that accent, I think, from Brooklyn, but I'm not sure if she's from Queens or... I like Miss Lala. She's cool. I like her quite a bit. I think her stuff is really, really fun. I've enjoyed watching it more recently, too. Yeah, Rev says Desu's a moron. I don't think that's a stretch. Unfortunately, again, thanks to Oddly Noah, I now know about all of his weird Nazi roleplay posts. Rev says Desu is weird. Anyway, back to this.
A Return to Silent Hill, and then in the bullet hole, I would have used a teaspoon to scoop out what was remaining.
Wow.
I just want to say it was not a good time at the film shows, but
there wasn't no 1982.
No, it was not. It was
1982. What else came out in 1982? 1982. Let's take a look. 1982. 1982 had One from the Heart, the movie that almost destroyed Francis Ford Coppola's entire career. It had Tron, I guess. Okay, Grease 2, great film there. And of course, the masterpiece of all cinema, the most 80s film of all time, Mazes and Monsters, 1982. Tom Hanks' first starring role, Mazes and Monsters, a movie that focused on the evils of Dungeons and Dragons. Mazes and Monsters is a far-out game. It's only imagination, is it? I fucking hate that movie. It's so stupid. Excalibur, I believe, did come out in 1982, I think. I'm not positive, though. Around then, though. I'm just kidding. 82 is a great year. It had Blade Runner, The Thing, E.T., some horror films. Was that the Season of the Witch that came out? Halloween 3, the best Halloween sequel. Anyway.
However, I would say this. What's really interesting, why I have faith in this film, is Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee and directed Kubo and the Two Strings, directed this film. And I actually sat down with him I had to do an interview. I was hired to do an interview with him for a licensing. I don't know where it was, some licensing event with Hasbro before he had directed Bumblebee. And he talked to me about how passionate he was about the Transformers because he was a kid when they first came out. I would think that this movie, it'd be like me directing a Star Trek movie. It'd be my entire life's work. And having met Travis Knight, I think this film, and I know nothing about it, unlike Avengers Doomsday, which I know everything. But I don't know anything. And I trust in Travis. And one of the great things he did was he hired Guy Hendricks Dias, as the production designer. And he did Inception. He did X2. He's an incredible talent. And I work with him on Superman Returns and documented all of his sets. He actually talked to me about Rotor, the machine, the spinning wheel machine, and you see it in the trailer.
You can tell who's an actual film critic and who isn't. You can tell. He is freaking carrying this entire discussion. He has turned to grifting in his later years, but it's amazing how you can always tell who is and isn't actually interested in the production of film. He is discussing actual film production, the actual parts of it. Also, Robert has no idea anything about Doomsday because Marvel doesn't know where Doomsday is going. You kidding? No one knows what's going on in Doomsday. They haven't even finished writing the script, I'm sure, yet. Yeah, no. Doomsday, they're still writing the script for 2 weeks before it comes out. Absolutely. Yeah, no, again, you can tell who the better film critic is based purely on knowing who worked on what. Whereas Ryan Kendall and all these guys, they resort to racist comments to make themselves sound edgy to their audience. All Robert has to say is discussion about making movies. Now, he is still throwing in his lot with all these grifters and thus falling into the same traps all of them are falling into. But I can guarantee you none of these people watched Mercy or Return to Silent Hill this weekend. He is the only one who did. So, there you go. He's fallen hard, but at least there's more to what he's talking about than the rest of them. And I think that's very important to distinguish.
And he talked to me about how he goes, where do you see it? He was like totally excited, and it's in the trailer. I'm like, the people that made this.
Yeah, Chris Gore is another example of that. Chris Gore, he also did the same thing. You can tell he was at one point a legit critic because he is enthusiastic about components of filmmaking. But the problem is, and this is very important to distinguish, you almost trick yourself into thinking they're the more reasonable ones. But they're really not. Because if they're working with the rest of these guys, something is wrong. They'd be better off being solo in terms of credibility to their audience than working with Shadiversity in a stream. If they were really that intelligent and really that good a critic, they wouldn't be streaming with Shadiversity. That's what it comes down to. So, do not fool yourself into thinking these guys know what they're talking about. They have one or two guys who really know what's going on, and the rest are using the clout they bring based on basic industry knowledge to pretend they're better than they really are. But they're not. And that's important to remember. I was going to say that
this movie, they believe.
There are a couple of things. Like, I think the design of Man-at-Arms and Teela are a miss, but the most important things that they really need to get right is He-Man and Skeletor.
And who plays Skeletor?
Jared Leto, but he's covered up. Skeletor, the way he looks great.
That's awesome.
Jared Leto, keep the fucking mask on, keep the fucking suit on, and just do a crazy voice. And yeah.
Like the sword, He-Man and Skeletor seem very authentic. And they're not...
Even they can't pretend to like Jared Leto's in this movie. Jesus. You know what? Yeah, no one likes Jared Leto. Why the fuck do they put him in these movies? The left hates him. The right seems to hate him. Who actually likes this fucking guy? Who's putting Jared Leto in these movies? If every demographic thinks he's a creep, who's watching these? Who wants to see him? Like, no wonder these movies flopped.
Not only that when the transformation sequence, that is lifted straight from the original cartoon.
Yeah, part of my issue with the casting is I think he's fine as Prince Adam, but He-Man is like Arnold big. He's a big fucking muscular dude, and he looks nothing like him.
By the way, the Man-at-Arms costume looks great, Shad. When Man-at-Arms is in his actual Man-at-Arms costume, he looks great.
Yeah,
he's a completely different color and the wrong guy, but the actual costume looks great. When he's in his...
He's the wrong color and the wrong guy. Why are none of them addressing it's Idris Elba? Like, they didn't just get like a random guy. It's Idris Elba. The guy is one of the most decorated actors that's currently working right now. Like, they're just ignoring the fact it's a freaking knight who has been up for an Academy Award playing Man-at-Arms. Also, he's played another actor who's race swapped, and that was Heimdall. And everyone agrees Heimdall is one of the best parts of the Thor films. He barely has any freaking lines, and he's still one of the best parts of that whole series. Is Idris Elba doing Thor again? I don't think so. I think he was just there for the cameo at the end of Love and Thunder. I think that's it. He might show up in, like, Secret Wars maybe for a cameo, but that might be it. It's like, that's the thing they don't seem to realize. you got one of the greatest character actors of all time in your movie. No, Idris Elba has definitely been nominated. He played Nelson Mandela, right? He had been nominated. Oh, got a super chat coming in.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $3.62. He-Man is Arnold Big.
Yeah.
He-Man is Arnold. He-Man was a Conan the Barbarian toy-line based on an early script.
Yeah, basically. Okay, no, I stand corrected. Apparently he has never been up for an Academy Award. How the hell has he never been up for an Academy Award? He's won the Golden Globe for Luther. He was nominated for... Okay, so he was nominated for the Golden Globe for Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, which I thought was fantastic. He was up for Beast of No Nation and again for Luther. Okay, so he won the Screen Actors Guild Awards for Beast of No Nation and Luther. He won. The loser... BET Awards, I don't think that's... Black Reel. Okay, a lot of these are like, okay, Kids' Choice Awards for Star Trek Beyond. What kids watching Star Trek Beyond? I'm just telling you right now. A lot of festival awards, but never an Academy Award. Wow. That's strange. That feels wrong. I don't know about that. That feels like not right. That doesn't sound right to me. But again, you still got Idris Elba, who is widely regarded as one of the best actors currently working. Guy cancels the apocalypse like it's no one's business, you know? So, you should be happy having him as Man of Arms. You're lucky you have someone that talented in the movie.
His like desert outfit.
Yeah,
I think that's because the armies of Eternia have been like decimated by Skeletor and they're getting the band back together sort of thing. I think that's where they're going. But if you looked at like I keep wanting to say Lockjaw, sorry, love. When you see like Trapjaw and Fisto and stuff, they look fucking awesome.
That's the thing too. Like, how can a lot of people make jokes about like they insist He-Man's a very manly, not at all gay show. And I'm like, well, you have a show about a guy named He-Man who takes a long phallic sword and gets power from it where his clothes fall off, wears pink all day, and he hangs around with Man of Arms and Fisto. He hangs around, he takes his shirt off and pants off around Fisto. Nothing gay about that. What are you talking about? Well, rainbows shoot out of his body. Nothing straight as his sword. Yeah, no. I always love people getting bent out of shape trying to argue that He-Man is not as gay as anything else. And it's not an insult, by the way. I think it's part of the charm of the show. But I do think it's funny seeing these guys get so upset, about the show being what it is.
In this trailer. Yeah. Tila, though, apparently I've been told I need to look properly because apparently she's got some cake, but Tila's outfit, to me, needs a lot of work.
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for a human resource.
Perfect head of HR.
Yep.
Yes. Never seen better casting in all my life.
Accurate.
So, apparently, the fact it's a black woman is... Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna make that. If I made a joke...
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $1.45. Fisto bring me Fallout New Vegas flashback.
Exactly. If I point out every time they were racist on stream, do you think at a certain point I'd be like, this is getting a little ridiculous? Just assume every other comment they make will be unnecessary racism, and we can progress further on. Because the alternative is stopping the stream every 2 seconds. Because that's how long it takes for them to say something extremely racist or extremely sexist. Just assume they're gonna say it no matter what. And I'll only pause when it's particularly egregious, which at this point is... Well, we're past the point of extremely egregious at this point. You saw the fucking stream started.
But that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry.
And that's Chad right there.
Well, no, wait a minute. That's in line with Adam. Adam is supposed to be a bit of a contradiction.
Right. At least, okay, so that's that I find funny. So apparently Marvel humor is okay when it fits the character, but it's bad when it also fits the character. Again, like a lot of these folks are complaining about the insincerity of Marvel humor and all that, but when it's a character like He-Man, who is a jokey character, or Adam, I should say, it's fine to them.
At Stingertopia3169 super chatted $10. 90% of their childhood would be called woke, day, bad, random slur if it came out today. These are not smart or consistent people. They're idiotic, racist, and grifters.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Like, imagine if the He-Man movie comes out and they're watching it, and this scene is perfectly translated. Let me get the clip right here. Imagine if this scene was perfectly translated to screen. Right here. Right here. If this was perfectly translated.
It was nice of you to save Relay, Mr. Skeletor.
I am not nice.
If this scene was perfectly translated to the movie, can you imagine the level of frustration they'd have with it? They would complain so freaking much. I love Skeletor. Don't play this. Yeah, no. Imagine if this was perfectly communicated on screen. Do you think they would get upset or think it was funny? It is funny. It's ridiculous. It's goofy. But like, this is He-Man. This is the show we're talking about here. It is goofy. It is silly. It is over the top. It is not meant to be taken too seriously. And it's a little bit flamboyant. And hey, that's fine. That's fine. Back to this.
Discover your true power.
At least he's fucking smiling and having fun.
I don't like this shot. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like this shot. I made a complaint about it on Blue Sky when it happened, or Twitter, whatever. I don't like this shot because it's so desaturated. Like, looking at it at some points, yeah, it's not heinous. I've seen worse. But it has like this real desaturated element to it where the colors don't pop. Everything looks a shade of beige. Even the color blue is muted a little bit. It doesn't. The pink is desaturated to an extent. I think they can make this a little bit more vivid. It looks, yeah, the Marvel look, yeah, which I think works for some Marvel films. I think Captain America, the look works. Thor, I think they brightened the colors up, which worked there. This needs a more colorful. Like, take a look for comparison. Dungeons and Dragons, and it's not all shots either. But let me give you a comparison. I'm going to play set the music because it's going to get copyright struck in seconds if I do that. Yeah, so I'm going to mute this real quick, but...
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.02. Guess they expect He-Man to be like Conan.
Exactly. Like, look at this too. This is the trailer for Dungeons and Dragons. Even this also had that muted quality, but look right here. The colors are a little bit more clear. It's not all gray. Yeah, there you go. There's the red logo. So right here we have a muted scene, more poison, poison dragon attacking with the cult dragon, whatever. But when it needs to be, there's more color. When it needs to be, there is more color on screen. It still is more gray, but look, right? Okay, of course, right there. Like right there, more color, more vivid. The contrast is very different. You see the whites pop out more, the greens are more apparent. Whereas right here, look right here, good group shot. You got the green trees, yellow cloak, gray cloak, dark cloak. It's against dark, it's muted, but the colors still pop a little bit. Right here, not so much. The colors don't pop all that much. See, the yellows right here are pretty vivid. Oh, not that one. That's the actual trailer. Okay. Here, they're a little bit more muted. I don't know. It just doesn't pop to me the same way that it should. And of course, then when you get the reds here, let me go back a little bit. The reds here really pop. The color's more vivid. I like that.
At Olivia_Williams_purple_fairy super chatted $1.45. That's a black dragon. They spit acid.
Exactly. And I love that attention to detail, too. And I love how they have the dragon cult from one of the early adventures in Dungeons & Dragons, like, as the main guys there. I love that detail. One of the first campaigns I ever ran, I based it off of that campaign, which is fun. Anyway, the first scripted one, I should say. They used like a pre-made adventure.
Look, he looks jacked there. So
Well, I mean, he is pretty built. He's not army built.
He looks pretty jacked as He-Man. Does he look like fucking a complete and total freak of nature? He looks really fucking jacked as He-Man.
Great shot of Skeletor. Love that.
He needs to.
Maybe not the short.
Skeletor. That looks great.
Skeletor looks even better at the end. There's Trapjaw. He looked great. Beastman looks great.
So my best bet is first act's going to be on Earth. They're going to come invade Earth and attack him. He's going to ward them off, and he's going to go to Eternia in the second act. And that's when the adventure really starts. That's my best bet. Third act is a siege on Skeletor's castle. So
Evelyn looks great.
Evelyn, yeah.
Alison Brie is Evelyn.
At the Great Visitor super chatted $2. Just want to point out the tiger's name is Cringer.
Yeah, Cringer. I love that. Cringer the tiger. My fabulous tiger, Cringer.
All right.
I can deal with that.
This transformation, right?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, Dan. No?
Yeah, no. I want to see this movie. I do. It does look fun. It doesn't look great, but it looks fun. It looks like you'll have a good time. I think it's going to be a serviceable He-Man movie. It's going to be fun for everyone. Everyone's going to have a good time if they watch it. But it also doesn't make me want to run to the theaters to see it. I might run to the theaters depending on what my mood is, but it's not like Spider-Man, Brand New Day, where I'm like, okay, saw him on the tank in previews on the behind the scenes, I'm in. It's not like that for me, which is fine. Not everything has to be.
He looks good.
That was right out of the time.
I'm going to buy my ticket right now.
Look at that as well. Snake Mountain looks great there as well.
Yeah,
that does look good.
But Castle Grayskull appearing in the background,
Keep it going.
that the lightning coming in at the sword, that is all the cutscene.
Look at this.
Look at that, yeah.
Wow. That's what happens when you take too much Ozempic.
Yeah.
Ah, great. An Ozempic joke. That no one's ever made those before.
It's like I feel like very.
The effects give me Speed Racer. I don't know if I'd say Speed Racer. Speed Racer effects are a very different thing.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $5.06. Says homophobic things, gushes over He-Man's muscles.
You ever notice how many of these grifters say the gayest things in the world, yet somehow think everyone else is bad? They say tons of homophobic stuff, but they also really love looking at other men. I'm just saying, there's something there. There's something there. And again, listen, there's no problem. I don't care what you are, but why be a dick to everyone else? Yeah, most of the Manosphere stuff is very deeply homoerotic, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna go into it. I'll save that for another video probably, because there's a lot of material there with the homoeroticism of like the Manosphere, pro-masculine pickup artistry, workout culture of this kind of stuff.
Again, it is coming from somebody that doesn't give a fuck about He-Man. I didn't watch it growing up, and I don't know if I just wasn't watching that stuff or I was just a little too young. You guys are a little too old for when it was like big. But I like the Eternia stuff. It looks really over the top and almost cheesy in a way. I think that's cool. Like I think it's what it should be if you're doing a He-Man movie. I don't like the real world aspect, and maybe it'll play okay. But I'm very split on that much.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a small part, and then let's get into Eternia. Let's get into He-Man.
30 minutes tops, maybe.
I think 20 minutes, 25 minutes Planet Earth. No more than that.
But you can see that the filmmakers, they believed, man.
Yeah, they do.
Look at this. That's exactly the plastic staff he had when you first got Skeletor. That was one of the first figures they ever made.
Yeah.
Coming in.
At Mudamanticore super chatted $2.20. TBF, the guy playing Adam is cute.
Yeah, he's gonna be good as. I think he's gonna be good as Adam. Who's playing him? I know it's someone who's obvious. Is that Okay, Nicholas guy. Let's see. Hang on, is that him really? Okay, yeah. Nicholas Galatzine? Galatzine? Nicholas Galatzine? Who was he? Oh, yeah, he was in frickin'... Yeah, he was in Red, White, and... Well, okay, hang on. Y'all. Okay. I knew I recognized him from something. Nicholas Galatzine, his biggest role before all of this, aside from the Amazon Cinderella film and the show and some of like stuff like The Craft Legacy, which we're not talking about right now. There was The Purple Hearts, which is a Netflix romantic film, as well as the movie that came to Amazon Studios, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Who here has seen Red, White, and Royal Blue? Type 1 in the chat if you've seen Red, White, and Royal Blue. Type 2 if you haven't. So I have a sense of how much of my audience has seen this movie or read the book. Book's good too, but I'll let you know. Okay, I'm just gonna play the video here. Chat, how many of you have seen it? 1, 2, lots of 2s and 1s. Okay, mostly 2s. Let me give you a preview of this film. I'm gonna play without the music going on. So, this is Red, White, and Royal Blue. My spouse read the book and really wanted me to see the film. It's a romantic comedy between the son of the president and the son of, I think, the king. And as you can see, it's a lot of tension here. Skip ahead here. I wonder if you can tell the vibe of this based on here right now. Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah, I know. So you can see what... So, this is the star of He-Man. And the fact that none of these grifters have made a comment about it yet, to me, proves that they only watch action films and are completely oblivious, aside from Robert, to anything outside their particular niche. Yeah, so their actor who they cast for He-Man, his biggest role is in a gay rom-com for teens. In a He-Man movie. They absolutely knew when casting the implications of that. They had to know. There's no way you can cast your lead for He-Man and not be aware of all the gay jokes that He-Man has accumulated over the decades of its existence and not known.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.02. What if son of a Republican president? Spicy?
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, and his other movie was Bottoms. So his two big roles were from the gay politics movie and a movie called Bottoms, which is actually very funny. I have seen Bottoms. I forget who was in Bottoms though. Again, with some actors, their faces look kind of the same. So the main actor is interesting. Okay, cool. So a second film, Red, White, and Royal Blue, coming out. Oh, they're making a sequel. Good. I know there was a sequel book. I think there was a sequel book anyway, right? Am I going crazy? Am I imagining that? I wonder sometimes if I imagine books that exist. Yeah, Red, White, and Blue Royal Wedding. It's based on... Yeah, okay, cool. Excellent. Yeah, cool. It's coming out... Oh, it started filming. Okay, cool. Good. That's good to hear. All the old actors back in it. That's fun. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. There is no sequel to the book. Okay, cool. I was misremembering. Okay, cool. BL He-Man manga now. Exactly. Yeah. So when? But yeah, Casey McQuiston has written 2 other adult romances. That might be what I'm thinking of. Okay, I know Casey has written a bunch of other works too. Cool. So that's their He-Man. Which I think is perfect casting, personally. I think that's actually accurate to the true spirit of He-Man, which is the most flamboyant thing that, people convince themselves is gay as hell. Okay, cool. So, So he's going to swing his large, crooked sword against the guy who's a boner to pick with him. Okay, cool. Good.
At Maryland 614 super chatted $2.02. Pertinent question is, will they play 4 non-blondes?
Probably not. Yeah, no. I will avoid. Yeah, he was in the gay rom-com for teens in 2020s. Yeah, no, we're good though. We're good. Anyway, moving on with this. See what they have to say.
For the most part, they're embracing the design look of the original cartoon.
They're embracing the gay themes of the original cartoon too. But they're not going to talk about that. They're not brave enough to.
At the guy 493 super chatted $5. Let's be honest. Even when Adam dates Tila, he is gay as hell.
Yeah, no. There isn't a single more heterosexual man than the one who shouts, "Fabulous powers were inherited by me when I held the sword aloft and said." Yeah, no.
And bringing into the Monday with terms of detail and effects and stuff. And that's what we want. None of this like, oh, we'll never put Wolverine in his yellow costume. They're going right the other way.
Full on, man. Full on.
It's that little guy in the back.
Where was Orko?
It's not me.
That's
not me.
the one disappointment of it. Where was Orko? And because he'll be a completely CGI character, do you think they've got rid just so he's out, so it's a little something to stick in the final trailer?
Well, I would just say, to be fair, Orko was not a part of the original release of the toys.
No, he was not. He was developed during the cartoon.
He was not. Yeah. And so
same thing
he's
with
not
Adam, too.
part of the original He-Man mythos.
Yeah,
I get why Gary wouldn't have been able to get it. The cartoon is very, very aimed at children. The plot lines are goofy as hell. But the thing about what makes He-Man, the thing about what makes He-Man special in my mind is that the entire concept of it was made as a toy that they needed to sell. So they just knuckled down on making this the coolest, most awesome thing for little boys to love. And it's interesting that documentary you mentioned, the comics, right? How they came up with the catchphrase "I have the power."
Right.
That's actually a really empowering, uplifting message for young men.
Well,
right?
and the other thing you need to remember, Shad, is that
look, I don't disagree with what Shad's saying in this particular statement. It is great that they made a whole toy line telling boys that they have inherent power, that they have strength. I do think that there is an issue to some extent that a lot of boys, especially as a dad myself now, raising a kid, that you want to emphasize, hey, son, you have inherent strength. You have value. You have power that's worthy of yourself. And so do girls need that too. That's why She was so important. There is value in telling boys something reassuring to themselves. Masculinity is only a problem when it becomes toxic, when it becomes dehumanizing to other men, when it becomes dehumanizing to yourself. Toxic masculinity is not the same thing as masculinity being toxic. It's the idea that when masculinity is framed a certain way, it makes men feel insecure in themselves. It makes men hurt other people to compensate for their own insecurities. That's where the problem comes in. When there is a standard that you have to reach or you are not a real man. The inherent value of masculinity is inherent. Self-worth is vital. That's important to instill. It is because men don't feel confident in themselves that they take out on other people. And then it's toxic. Then it's dangerous. Then it's hurtful. Then it's bad. The problem is with a lot of these grifters is that they feel that insecurity in themselves and they're projecting it.
At the Waverner super chatted $5. I am just Ken, and I am enough, and I am great at doing stuff. Genuinely brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Men are hurt just as much as women by a patriarchal system that instills that you are not valuable unless you are a certain way. Unless you do a certain thing in a certain manner, a certain amount of times enough, unless you're born this way, you are useless to society, and therefore you suck. That is toxic. That is dangerous. That hurts people. Being told your power is inherent and your value is within you the whole time, that's a good message to kids. I
At
don't disagree with
Maryland
that.
614 super chatted $2.02. But they conflate violence force for strength.
Exactly. And that's the problem too. Violence is not strength. It takes a lot of strength to not fight. It takes a lot of strength to not be immature, to not be vengeful, to not be aggressive. It takes more strength sometimes to be non-aggressive than aggressive. Because it's so easy to just punch someone. It's much harder to not. To find a better solution. That doesn't hurt people. That takes a lot of strength too. But it's not necessarily the kind of strength they want to present in these movies because it's easier to show a fight scene than a negotiation scene. That makes everyone have the best possible solution. To see where people are eye to eye. That being said, though, Skeletor is the obvious bad guy, so fuck him. Punch him in the face. Sorry, Skeletor in chat, but you want to fight too. It all works out.
At the guy 493 super chatted $2. Big difference between picking a fight and defense.
Exactly. Martial arts, they teach you you have the skills, so you don't need to fight. But if you have to fight, you know what to do.
At the great visitor super chatted $5. I find it funny how bored Disparu and Ryan look compared to everyone else.
Exactly.
Reminds me of when G&G freaked out from boredom over talking about Kathleen.
Yeah, no, it's actually remarkable because here's the problem. These grifters know when they're going to capitalize on something. And they know they're going to capitalize on this.
At Racerk45 super chatted $5. I want to see somebody try to debate any of these guys on their takes and see how they react.
It's a waste of time. They're not going to. And I'll tell you why. Because they don't actually believe in... half of them don't really believe in this stuff. They want to find a way to grift to their audience, and that requires an ecosystem that's an echo chamber. They can't handle their... Here's the thing. If I am... Oh, Skeletor, I love... Skeletor, let's fight in the comment section, Skeletor. It'd be great. Fun time. I love how you're in the chat. It's so funny. You're fantastic. Love you, Skeletor. Great. I'm the Daywalker. I love that. That's great. Skeletor, you're great. You're fantastic. Let's hang out on the weekends.
At super chatted $5, my only concern is that we've already seen something similar to this concept of He-Man living an average life with that one Fox show.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the Conan the Barbarian knockoff, right? That was fun. I like that one from what I remember it. From what I remember it, I could be misremembering a lot of awful stuff, but I liked what I saw. That's the thing with a lot of comedies. Like you remember, oh yeah, I like this. Like I was saying on the trade stream the other day, I was watching all the old Naked Gun movies. Like, oh, it's really good. I'm enjoying this. You get Naked Gun 3, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one gag that's like has aged like sour milk. Cause it sucks because so much of the rest of the movie is really funny, but like that one scene really brings the vibe down. But yeah, no. Anyway, so they don't debate because debating actually ruins their point. Like look at with Shadiversity, right? I publicly said, Chad, if you want to discuss this, we can debate publicly. He never responded to me. I know he's talked about me online multiple times since those videos, but he will never debate me personally. Because the problem is, if he debates me, he'll look ridiculous. He can't handle anyone disagreeing with him. That's why he streams with sycophants all the time. Look at how he reacted to Zachary Levi on a stream talking about AI. He couldn't handle it. He got flustered by Zachary Levi, who's like the easiest guest for them to have right next to Dean Cain. That's the reality of it. No, it's fun times. Skeletor, you're great. That's the thing also. It's a matter of they have to have the same guys around every time. They have to be surrounded by like-minded people or else they cannot promote their agenda. They have to be anchored to the same perspectives. If they don't, it sucks for them. It sucks for them. And it's unfortunate because, you know what, like, I think their audience would benefit from having different thoughts and presented in front of them. I really do. I think a lot of the people they grift to could be pulled out of it by being presented with a counter argument. But that's the problem. They have as much chance as Andrew Tate did in his fight. And Andrew Tate was fighting a guy who was terrible, by the way. He was not a good fighter. Andrew Tate's just worse. Like, people make jokes about and I was watching Super Eye Patch Wolf. I know it's regular Eye Patch Wolf, but it's Super Eye Patch Wolf. Talk about the Andrew Tate fight. It's like, well, by comparison, Jake Paul is a master boxer by comparison. At least he trains. Apparently Andrew Tate doesn't train. But he loves making money pretending he trains. That's the difference. Zach was great at Shazam. Zachary Levi was great in the first Shazam, but not the second one, I thought. The second one was just a freaking mess. Love the first Shazam. Not a fan of the second one all that much. There was something lost to it. And it's not Rachel Zegler. It's something more fundamental to the film is rough. They fail to get Billy Babson correct. A Shazam story is only as good as how good you handle Billy Babson. If you do him right, it will be great. If you fail with Billy, the movie falls apart. And they failed Billy in that film.
That the cartoon came out after the initial release, because the toy launched in 82 and the cartoon came out in 83. And that was like after Reagan went and rescinded that one law where you basically couldn't make cartoons and toys be a thing, right? So yeah.
No, he got rid of the law that removed advertising limitations for cartoons, which did bring us Transformers and He-Man and all those shows. But I don't know.
I mean, initially it was a toy line, much like G.I. Joe, and then eventually you get the cartoon.
Oh, I don't like these PSAs though. None of these like 80s PSAs. I'm not a big fan of them.
Well, the other cartoon,
I think they're teaching I think they're sending the wrong messages, Shad. Like it's virtue signaling. Don't touch people. Don't be racist. Fuck that. What are we talking about?
Well, I'm glad they hate the 80s too. That's the thing too I find so funny. For all of their gushing about how much they love the 80s, it's only a matter of time before they push the same button that they're so freaking hateful about the things they claim they love. That's why a lot of these channels aren't doing so hot, because frankly, they don't care about the 80s. You can tell in this chat who is actually a fan of all this stuff and who isn't. You can tell. Robert, he's all in. He loves this stuff. Shadiversity, for all of his faults, and he has a lot of faults, at the very least, he actually likes what we're talking about. Even though I will criticize this man to day one for being a poser and a fake fan of all these other shows that he's talked about this one topic, I know for a fact he's enthusiastic. He actually cares about He-Man. I can tell when he talks about Brandon Sanderson, he actually cares about those novels. But when he stretches himself too thin, he fails because he doesn't know what he's talking about. But with this topic, I can tell he actually does care. Geeks and gamers, Nerdrotic, they don't. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Think it's terrible. I know it's because of swords, but I can at least tell he has enthusiasm for it. That's something. I'm grasping at fucking straws here. What do you expect? I can tell he actually cares about the topic he's discussing. He actually does. The rest of these guys couldn't give a fuck. They couldn't give a flying fuck. That's important to distinguish. Even though I think Shadiversity's a clown, even though I will clown on him again, multiple times after this, I can at the very least respect he's coming at this from a place of actual, genuine enthusiasm. And the rest of them are not. Except for Robert, he cares. And by the way, almost all these people haven't said fucking anything this entire time. They haven't said a word. They've been quiet. They've been mute. And why is that? Because they have nothing to say about He-Man. They have nothing to say about the grift. They have nothing to say that can push their culture war agenda. Because all of them agree this is a decent movie.
Such people.
Shira and I want to talk to you about something that's very personal. Your body.
Remember, it's your body and no one should touch you in a way that you feel is wrong.
Anybody who tries.
It's not that easy, Orko. It's hard for a young person to admit that he or she has been touched in a bad way.
If you've been touched that way, don't be ashamed. Tell someone you trust, like your parents, your doctor, your teacher, or counselor, or your minister or rabbi.
Right, Orko?
The rabbi.
They had to make a Jewish joke about that? Okay, no, I must have misheard.
Yeah, don't tell your teacher.
What if it is my rabbi?
Yeah,
What do I do?
don't tell your fucking teacher.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Oy vey.
Some of those people might be doing it, okay?
Okay. Granted, listen, I make priest jokes. I can't. Okay. They really honed in on the teachers and rabbis, but not like, say, made a Catholic priest joke, which would be more apt. Oof. Anyway, that's a weird take to take from this. It's more like, oh, you can make jokes about these PSAs. They are sometimes very awkward and stiff, and they are a mainstay. The some of the Sailor Moon PSAs at the end for the Deke dub were pretty ridiculous. But consent has always been a thing. So here's the thing. These people make such a big deal about, media preying on kids or teaching kids political lessons. This has always been a thing. It's always been around. It's always been going on. Media aimed at younger audiences has always been instilling lessons to learn. But they gotta make some big stink about it. They gotta complain. They want some imaginary version of the 80s to come back that does not exist. And the He-Man movie is the version of the 80s that exists only in the imagination. Because He-Man the show is a goofy show for goofy goober kids. It's a goofy goober show. It is childish and silly and dumb. It has a character named Fisto in it. Come on. Nightmare blunt rotation theme. We did that joke already. We did that. I love how multiple people coming in at various points of the stream all go, well, that's a nightmare blunt rotation right there. Yeah, you're right, but we've already made that joke.
So genuinely though, the PSAs at the end of each He-Man episode were actually they were based on universal morals. A lot of them were very positive, very beneficial. They were great. They were good little messages that had a really good positive influence.
They're taking our fictional characters and they're attaching political messaging to them, Shad. They're pushing shit with your characters you care about. Fuck that, okay?
It was originally non-political. It was just universal morality that everyone agreed.
Shad, it's the same fucking lessons they teach today. It just, they weren't political because they were old in your eyes, but they were always the same level of political. Talking about rape prevention is a pretty major political statement, isn't it? Teaching you basic hygiene, telling you about taking medicine when you're sick. Those aren't political, but they've been political talking points in the last 10 years because now everything that the authorities tell you is good is now inherently political. I'm sure you can find an anti-gun PSA in some of these shows easily. Captain Planet dealt with heavier politics than any cartoon in the last 15 years. And Captain Planet is a cartoon people made fun of because of how goofy it was. And it is goofy and deserved to be made fun of. But it was still more politically minded than a lot of cartoons still going on today. No cartoon has the balls to do some of the stuff that Captain Planet did, like have an AIDS episode or talk about religious violence in a way that's very explicit. So yeah.
Agreed upon that was good to teach young kids, especially young boys, and that's what He-Man was really good for.
G.I. Joe did it too. So.
Yep. I remember running around as a kid with a wooden sword, doing the whole "I have the power" thing constantly, wanting to be like
Shad. You still do that? Like, let's be honest, you still do that.
He-Man and be better because he was a character I idolized as a young man.
You gave out big Prince Adam energy, huh, Shad?
By the way, there were some really great writers. I mean, it's silly to say this, but there's a lot of very accredited writers who'd written books and short stories and comics that did write for the He-Man TV show. So you can't.
Robert and Shad are the only people who actually like He-Man in this entire conversation. You can tell. Maybe. The rest of them don't give a fuck about He-Man. Like, you can tell who actually likes the show in this chat based on how much they're talking about it and how excited they are to talk about He-Man. And look, that shines through the grift. They are all still grifting. But you can tell two of these people are actually genuinely excited for this movie. And I don't want to take away from that. I genuinely don't want to take away from that. They actually care. I do a lot of criticizing of grifters in this show, and I still will criticize all the people in this freaking stream. All of them deserve criticism. They're all okay with racism. They're all okay with all these racist jokes, all these sexist jokes, all these homophobic jokes. They're all okay with that and have actually made them over the course of this stream. No one here is without sin. However, the enthusiasm they have for the discussion point shines through. And I wonder if they were in a different setting, if they would be making these same jokes. Probably. But still, I wonder that. Because, like, you can see the grift breaking for them. Even here, it breaks down. I just find it interesting. I just find it really interesting that when confronted with something they actually feel enthusiastic about, something that actually makes them feel giddy and excited, and they're not forcing a grift about something they don't understand. Because Shad does not understand Superman all that well. He does not understand Mario all that well. And he can activate the grifter mode very easily there. But he is struggling here. He is struggling to be his usual self about a topic he is actually enthusiastic about. We are watching in real time the grift break down in front of our eyes. And the guys who are more mechanical about it, they're pushing the anger. They have to force the usual talking points. Well, freaking Shad and Robert here are on their own little podcast talking about how much they love He-Man. Which is great. Which is great. Chat's coming in right now. I can see the super chat coming.
At the Great Visitor super chatted $5. It's just us talking about something he likes. Over half are still bored, won't even unmute. Disparu still can't look at the camera. It's sad.
It is sad. It really is. Almost all of them are miserable. Look at them. He looks miserable. She looks miserable. She looks miserable. He hasn't said shit this whole time. Ryan has only said racist stuff this whole time. Nerdrotic's camera's off. Like, the whole stream, basically. The whole I know it's just like a clip from a larger stream, but the whole part here he clips off. Odin here hasn't said anything, as far as I can tell, in this whole clip. So that means even if he talked, nothing he said was deemed valuable enough to preserve for the concise edit. And that's the thing, too. They might have said something, but it wasn't deemed valuable enough to the discussion to make it to the edit.
You can't totally dismiss it.
No, and the 2003 He-Man adaptation was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
actually wasn't bad.
Really well done.
That wasn't bad.
People see
transformation. The OG transformation is still the GOAT. That no one has ever topped that. And
yeah, it is. I like.
That's the thing. It's almost kind of sad because you can tell who is here to grift and who is actually enthusiastic. Okay. Interesting like to dislike ratio, too. Let's see some comments here. Not casting Ariana Grande as Skeletor is an epic mistake. Yeah, pretty much. They should have used Battle Cat as the MGM lion. That would have been cool. Again, wait for the Nose Ring Mafia to cry racism after he lifts the sword and says, I have the power. The Nose Ring Mafia? That's a new one. Imagine having fun at the movies again. Well, clearly only two people are actually excited about that prospect. MGM Lion. Pharmacists are just educated drug dealers? Until we meet again! Okay, fair enough. Someone made a funny joke in the comments. I just found out Rob had very rich parents in 1982. Yeah, fucking rich parents, you kidding? He-Man, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, they had moral lessons in the shows. They should bring that back. You wouldn't want them to bring it back. We know for a fact you'd cry woke. Because they did bring them back, and all you guys complained. With Steven Universe. You all couldn't handle that. You know for a fact you couldn't handle this again now. Nose Ring Mafia, that's a funny one, actually. That's a good one. I'm hopeful but hesitant. Again, it's hard to... These are normal-ish comments. None of these are too... I think we can all agree race swapping is perfect if Terry Crews is the substitute. Snow White, Terry Crews. Winston Churchill, Terry Crews. Even the comments don't seem to buy this bullshit. Let me see if they actually mentioned Idris Elba at all here. Steven Seagal would make a great Steven Seagal would make a great Buddha. Steven Seagal would make a great Buddha. Casting Scott Baio as Confucius. Interesting. A baby is just a fully baked cream pie until we meet again. That's funny. All the comments are like, I don't mind this. Yeah, it's a good trailer. It's fine. Gen Z doesn't give a shit. That's the problem. Here's the reality. The Gen Z kids don't care. And the reason they don't care is the same reason why Transformers and TMNT do matter.
At GamerNinja24 super chatted $5. I just got here and I feel like I've already seen enough.
Yeah, basically. That's the problem, isn't it? Like, Gen Z doesn't care for the same reason they do care at Transformers and TMNT, but not Thundercats. Because when they were growing up, they got a revival that meant something to them. The 2003 He-Man show is a good He-Man show. I liked the 2003 show. I watched it when I was growing up as a kid. I enjoyed it. I was like a teenager. I'd already seen the original cartoon. Kids growing up around that time never fucking watched it because it meant nothing to them. They had Dragon Ball Z on TV at the same time the He-Man show was going on. That was their show. And Dragon Ball Z, what's funny is, it keeps coming back. It's always relevant. It was always on. Gen Z doesn't give a shit about He-Man. If they made a Dragon Ball movie that was good, maybe they might watch that. Or hate it, depending. Probably hate it. But, like, it doesn't matter to them. And Gen Z aren't even the young generation anymore. It's Gen Alpha. Okay. Back to Tony's, I'm Gen Z and I care about He-Man. Yes, you care, but... Okay, let me rephrase that. Gen Z in general doesn't care about He-Man. Not individual Gen Z people, the collective. I would say probably the thing that Gen Z probably has the biggest collective memory is freaking She-Ra, Princess of Power. Because that was a cartoon made with that audience in mind. Do they all have to like it? No, of course not. But it has a bigger impact culturally with them. It had more of a widespread ripple effect on that generation. Early Gen Z. There you go. And again, if you're Gen Z and love this stuff, hey, that's valid. You are more of the exception that proves the rule, and that's great. But, you know.
At Detective Lizard 9532 super chatted $1.35. There's a newer He-Man cartoon on Netflix.
Yep, that is true, and the grifters hate it. They hate that cartoon because He-Man quote unquote dies early on, but doesn't really. Yeah. But yeah, and He-Man wasn't even that big a deal in the 80s either. Let's be perfectly honest. He-Man was always below Transformers and My Little Pony. My Little Pony was the show marketed to girls. Transformers was the show marketed to boys. G.I. Joe also, He-Man also. But He-Man had better, more recognizable iconography. Yeah, Gen Z wants Power Rangers back. Yeah, Power Rangers was the Gen Z show of choice, I think. Power Rangers is the Gen Z and millennials. What He-Man is to Gen X and older millennials, I would say. He-Man and Skeletor in the Berserk universe. God, I wish Kentaro Miura was still alive to draw that. I really wish it was the case. That would be fun. I would love to see Eternia mash up with all that. Have Griffith show up next to He-Man. That'd be great. Terrifying, but great. Not the Kevin Smith show. There's another one? There's another He-Man show? Is that the Kevin Smith one? Huh, okay. I didn't realize that. Doesn't surprise me, but I'm kind of surprised, actually.
At Detective Lizard 9532 super chatted $1.35. No, it's a 3D animated reboot He-Man show.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that one. Okay, I never saw that.
At Wing of Shoe super chatted $2, but my GoBots, sad face.
GoBots is great. GoBots is great, I'll give you that. Or Robotech, too.
At Gamer Ninja 24 super chatted $5. Never knew about the 2003 show until the Netflix show was released.
Yeah.
For me, Samurai Jack filled that slot.
It didn't do well, I don't think, on Cartoon Network. I don't think the ratings were that great for the He-Man show. But it was good. It was very good. It was the same thing with Thundercats 2011. Really good show. Didn't find its audience. Until, I guess, it was canceled. But I dug it. I liked it. They deserve better. They deserve better. That's the problem. Listen, as long as it's entertaining, it'll be good. And I think this will be good. Jared Leto ruins my enthusiasm for it, but I think it could be good. We have to temper our expectations, ultimately speaking. But the grifters like it. And you know what? Cool. I'm glad they like it. You know what? That's fine. If they like a show or a movie, that's good. The problem is they can't use it for the grift. Because they can't be happy about something. They have to use it as a weapon for something else. Like against Star Wars, maybe. We'll see what they do. I do think it's interesting how The Mandalorian and Grogu does come out around the same time as Masters of the Universe. And I think both are going to fail. I think both are not going to do that well financially. By Thickle Thinking's awful bad faith in talking Miss Marvel. Yes, I do want to address at some point Thinking Critical's Miss Marvel video. I might make that into a video response so I can do a little more research on the fly, but still. But that's it for today. I think we're wrapped up today. It was a lot going on today. Unfortunately, not everything's good news. A lot was not good news today, unfortunately. I am upset by that. But what are you going to do, I'm hoping for the best regarding all the drama going around here. I'm hoping for the best. But, you don't know. I don't know. Anyway, chat, this is great. This week may come out with something. I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting to see what one of my editors can hand something in. If they can't, that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. Okay. Let's take a look at one thing before I forget. I'm going to go crazy if I don't double check. Okay, cool. That'd be good. I can get that done. All right, cool. Sorry, just a note for a sponsorship I want to take care of soon. That's all fine. But again, this has been the usual stream, and will be... My plans for this weekend would have been fun, but unfortunately, there's controversies. I can't do that. So, I digress. I love this background. It's fun. It's from Wallpaper Engine. Hopefully, it's an older one. I think it's really cool. It's really neat. We'll get some good rest this week. And if nothing comes out this Friday, just know something will next week. I have to recharge a little bit because there's some big plans coming up for the next month, and I'm excited to do all of it with you very soon. All right. Take care, everyone. Goodbye. Once I get to the end screen. There we go. Now the end screen's here. You guys can go now. Are you all here? You're really waiting? Go home. It's over. Stream's done. Go get some sleep. It's like 10 o'clock here. Watch someone else. Get out of here, guys. Go. Scram. What are you still doing here?